And there we are. Apparently, I am live. LPH will be joining me here in a moment. Can everybody see and hear me? I see John McJunkin. I see Punisher X. I've got my family here with me watching. Uh-oh.
Who has the family?
John McJunkin.
What do you got? What's her name? Elizabeth is the daughter. Her name is Elizabeth.
Yeah, you know, Fred Sanford's wife.
No, Sanford.
Oh, wrong Elizabeth. I see.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Montgomery.
Hey, John.
Which Elizabeth are we talking about?
Oh yeah, my books are coming.
What books are coming? Oh, you got a delivery update. I see.
You know, eBay got to notify you every 10 minutes.
I don't know if anybody's there or
going
not.
On.
If anybody is still here.
Oh,
if anybody
no.
is still here. Is anybody here?
Well, you know, it might be on the commercial.
Because you know that YouTube gets wonky like that, and then like the viewers disappear and then come back again. So like suddenly you look up and there's like
yes,
zero.
Elizabeth is her name.
There's like
okay, he's back.
Suddenly you go from like however many to like 0 watchers, and it's like, what happened? What happened, YouTube?
It's a commercial.
Is it? They have ads on us?
I guess.
Well, what are you gonna do?
But
That's how it works.
Happy Sunday to everybody. Hope you've been
Fabio
having a very uneventful week. Hey, Fabio, how are you?
So yeah, we've been running around all morning.
Yeah, it's been a hectic morning. Nothing bad.
No.
Actually, a lot of good things. It's just that everything was crammed into seem like the same time frame, and it just made it kind of frazzly. But now we're.
Yeah, if anybody saw like that short that I did, and I don't understand. Yeah, Out of Sight is here. I don't understand how that works with the freaking shorts on YouTube, because you put one up and you get like 2,000 views, and you put up another one and you get like 12. And I don't know what the criteria is or how that works or anything, but I have put one up as a reminder.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to be going live today to let people know, and also to.
YouTube letting me know that we live,
and also to show people that we picked up like 3 long boxes from somebody today.
Yeah, we bought out a collection. We've been wanting to buy a comic collection, and we got in touch with somebody. And hey, from Denmark. Who's that?
It's
Homer?
Homer DK.
Hey, Homer.
DK for Denmark, I guess.
I've never been to Denmark.
No. But
a lot of people used to go to Denmark to get married.
Did they?
When we were in the military in Europe.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess they had a really lax marriage policy. I don't know. But soldiers used to go to Denmark all the time to get married.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
it's kind of like people going to Vegas
my wife to get married. Debbie asks, how are you both? And I can't see.
Been added to her subscription.
Both added to her.
Well, we appreciate it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Patrick is here
from Belgium.
Wow.
Have I been to
Antwerp, Belgium? Have you been to Belgium?
No, I haven't been to because that's in the more northern Europe.
Okay.
I've been in the more southern.
And look at this. Wheels is here, and he's from Australia.
Australia.
So coffee in hand.
Coffee in hand.
Still alive, huh? Because the world was supposed to end on the 24th. That's another topic of discussion.
For another channel.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, we picked up 3 long boxes, and it looks like late copper, early modern. Yeah, I just breezed through it because for what he wanted, and this is a Facebook Marketplace, I think, right?
Was it was on no, it was Offer Up.
Offer Up, I don't know, but for what he wanted, everything looked good. Let's just do this basically and get it over with. So 3 long boxes that I got to sift through. Barely looked through it myself.
Yeah.
But I saw Sandman in there, and I saw Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, and a couple of things that looked kind of tempting, but it was really inexpensive.
Yeah, hopefully some good stuff. I mainly collect gold and silver and bronze. I got that fine taste that costs too much. So maybe I should get into the more modern books.
You got some Bronze Age stuff.
Yeah, I said bronze.
Oh,
gold,
you did?
Silver, and bronze.
I see. Stuff like that. So she likes a lot of the horror and mystery titles and war titles and stuff like that.
It's a handful of superheroes that I'm into. It's just a few because I'm not too big into superheroes. I do the Batmans.
Yeah.
And a couple of others, but not too much.
Yeah. And then we dropped by Book Nook.
Ooh, the Book Nook we went to is a different one we've never been to, and it had like so many comic books.
They did.
They had a lot.
Yeah.
But it was very like kind of in there, you know, kind of.
And it looked like an old apartment house because it was all rooms, and you go into a room and that room leads into another room through these narrow doorways.
Yeah.
And each room was like a different genre of books, and that's how they had it split up. And it's like, okay, did somebody used to live in here, or what is this? Or maybe it was an office section.
Well, it was in an office, kind of office
complex
park. Yeah, like complex. And but they did have it divided up into tiny rooms, so you go into each room, and then in the back part was the biggest area, and that's where they had all the records, the comic books. And we didn't have a long time to stay in there because we had to be back in time for
do this.
But it's a place that we'll go back to because we didn't even look at the records at all.
Yeah, we didn't get to flip through the vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Did pick up a couple of things.
Yeah, go ahead.
Found a couple of decent prices.
Yeah, their prices weren't horrible. Hey, Patrick, how are you?
Except for that one book. That somebody needs to have a long conversation with them about that. It was a Gold Key Star Trek #2, Gold Key photo cover. And he had $404 on it. And I'm like, whoa.
And the guy was like, oh, yeah, he just raised the price. He updated the price.
Yeah, and he wanted to see what the old price was and found out that he actually went up, not down. And he was like, oh, my, this says $375. Okay. And I'm like, God, you know, it had better be for a raw book. It had better look like it just came off the press for that price. I mean, I know it's a 60s Gold Key Star Trek, but in the kind of condition it's in, you can routinely pick them up on eBay for under $100. So I was like, wow. I mean, what kind of shape does he think that's in? But that's what happens. That's something we talk about a lot, where you have people that don't understand the nuances of stuff like that. And so they just look at a price and, oh, that must be it. You know, they don't get the idea of a grading scale or condition or anything like that. It just doesn't register. You've been seeing that a lot at flea markets, yard sales. It's everywhere now, thanks to those like crappy reality shows, which are all fake, by the way, where like American Pickers and stuff like that, where they price stuff. I used to watch American Pickers sometimes, and they get toys and things, and I'm sitting there like, that's not right. But you can't get that much for that.
They do it on everything because they do it on House Hunters. I love House Hunters. I know House Hunters is fake.
It's scripted.
I like looking at the houses, honestly. I like looking at houses so much. I will watch House Hunters. And they did some town here in Georgia. And I kind of knew the town. And the price they wanted for the house, I was like, it's no way in the world that house in that town is going for that much. And I looked it up. And they said that the house was going for, I want to say $500,000. And like the most expensive, and that was like one of the nicest house in the area.
Sure.
But when it sold for like $200,000.
Yeah. Robert's here.
Hey, Robert.
Robert online.
Yeah.
Robert's online.
So, you know, you have those things, and it drives the market, and it makes people think that they can ask all kind of ridiculous prices for stuff. And it's just like, you know, go somewhere. Elizabeth says hi. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, she just got back. She had to let the dogs out.
Yeah, now you know who let the dogs out.
Elizabeth let the dogs out.
Whoop, whoop. But the one that kills me too is that one lady that I picked the worst houses in the best neighborhoods, and I'm trying to restore Detroit. Remember her? Was it Detroit or Chicago?
No, it was Detroit.
It was Detroit. And the amount that they were spending, you go and you looked those houses up on like realtor.com, they were selling for less than what the repair costs were on the property after purchasing it.
I did look those houses up when we used to watch that show, and she did buy them for like $5,000 and $10,000.
Yeah. And
because they were crappy houses.
And then she'd spend like $80 fixing it. And then when you looked at realtor.com, they selling for like $38,000, $40,000. And if it wasn't for the fact that it was a show, there's no way you can make that work.
No.
She'd go bankrupt after the first house.
Yeah, because her whole goal was she was from Detroit.
Sure.
So she wanted to renovate Detroit and make it what it was in its heyday.
Never again. There's abandon Detroit and let it turn into a state park. Nature will reclaim it. You don't need to do anything. Some places you just need to do that.
I really thought you get.
Oh yeah.
The better look. Oh, I actually got an email.
Oh my God.
From Sideshow, and they created the label. So it's in. I guess it's in and they've
queue.
Created the label. So usually when they create a label, about a week later they ship it out.
Sure.
So I'm expecting them to ship it out sometime next week, and then I'll get it the following week, because that's normally how they work. But yeah, we're not in the elite crew that we're gonna get stuff early.
Yeah, we're not in the the what 500,000 subscribers elite club.
Yeah, we're not that level, so we wait on our stuff. We got to go to the store. We got to sit online in the queue and buy our stuff. Nobody's going to reach out and say, "Hey, I'm gonna send you this to review." We're not there.
Or we'll see if you get it early. Yeah.
No label on Tom Baker, David.
No, don't even get me going on Tom Baker. Hank Hackenbush the fourth is here. Thanks for joining us.
And
Buddy Jones. I've been watching a while. Keep making the videos. We don't collect a lot of what you do, but we love you authentically.
Yeah,
we appreciate that. I get that sometimes where I have people comment and they're like, I don't even collect toys, but I get such a good vibe. That I subscribe to the channel, and it's like, well, thanks.
Yeah,
we're just trying to have a good time and share it.
Yeah, we just like to sit and run our mouth.
Yeah, and we do the comics too, vinyl records, all sorts of things. Robert says you'll always have 1 million subscribers to me. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and he's talking about the Tom Baker. And of course, that's the Tom Baker 1/6 scale Doctor Who figure from Big Chief Studios.
Get ready, guys.
The slowest
producer
of 1/6 scale figures in the market. Really high end. They're decent quality. I did a review of well, they can be decent quality, I should say, because I've done a review on this channel. The Captain Scarlet, which there were some problems with. It looks exactly like Captain Scarlet, but there are some issues with it. And fortunately, I didn't have as many issues as other people. With mine, the light up features didn't work, and the vest is super tight. A lot of people, the vest tore, the helmet didn't fit, the sticker was missing from the helmet. They had all sorts of issues. The helmet didn't fit because there's a magnet to stick it to his head, but the magnet was put in backwards in some of them. So if you put it on, it'd fly off his head. Negative attraction. The John Pertwee was really well done, especially the costume was really high quality. And I had ordered also the Doctor Who, but it's second version Doctor Who with the kind of burgundy looking outfit. But I really would have preferred the original version outfit. The
one that's out now? Or is about to be released?
Yeah. So I went ahead and ordered it because I was like, yeah, I'd love to have a 6 scale Doctor Who figure. And now after 2 years of delays, because Big Chief can't do anything on time. After 2 years of delays, they re-released the original Doctor Who that I missed the first time. And I'm like, shit. I just... that's the one I would have wanted. But, you got it on pre-order. And now you've got this dilemma of, if I cancel my pre-order, I lose my deposit. That's a problem. And what's his name? You know who I'm talking about. Also orders from Big Chief. He canceled his and just sucked it up that he was losing his deposit.
I ain't losing my deposit.
That's the thing. That's why they get their hooks in you like that. Oh, Jason Risley is here.
Hey, Jason.
Thanks for joining us.
I don't know. I'm not losing my deposit. Even though I might change my mind, because it's some things that I'm like, man, I changed my mind.
Sure.
But I paid that deposit, and I'm getting my stuff. I like it when they just take your money right away.
Get it over with.
Yeah, and not like big bad toy store, you put it on pre-order, and then they take their money when the stuff comes in.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, your stuff is in. And by the time they tell you your stuff is in, they already took the money out.
Yeah.
See what Hank and Robert's
talking about. Did you hear about another price hike on Joe classified figures? That's 2 so far. The problem is you can't even get them in stores, and they keep raising prices. Yeah, no, I did not hear there was another price hike.
I did hear. Well, I saw the video. I didn't watch it.
I know Legends has gone up like twice in the last year, but
I didn't watch the video yet, but I saw, somebody got it on YouTube, how it looks like they're trying to make the G.I. Joe classified Hasbro Pulse exclusives now. So when you buy it, you got to go on Hasbro Pulse. And maybe that'll be easier for people to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they never seem to be able to find it in stores.
Robert says, can't you switch the pre-order? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you can trade a pre-order.
I don't know.
I don't know how that works.
You're already 3 years in. You switch that out, you're going to be 8.
He wants to know if you're into the old video games.
No, I don't play video games.
Wrestling games. I used to play on that, I forget the name of it, but that WWF one on Sega Genesis is pretty funny.
I probably can name the thing. I had the original Nintendo game and the original PlayStation system, and that's all I've ever had.
Okay.
And I like to play. I had a Game Boy, and the only game that was on it was Tetris. I don't play video games like all that. So I'm not interested. Heather said something.
We collect Turtles, Transformers, Joes, and wrestling.
Oh, cool. I collect wrestling and Turtles and Transformers.
Yeah, and I get to, you see back here, these
David
are
and his little G.I.
60s, 70s, and 80s Joes sitting behind me here. And a mishmash of other things. But yeah, she does the wrestling and she does the turtle. You do the Transformers.
Yeah, I said Transformers.
Oh, you did? I didn't hear it.
Not the original. Well, I got a couple of originals, but mainly like the 3 Zeros and the Jada Metals, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I ain't deep in the Transformers like some people.
She likes specific characters.
Is it Hercules?
Herc B has joined us. Thanks for joining us today. But yes, like Megatron and Optimus and Bumblebee and Soundwave.
Those are only 4 I collect.
She's a sucker for, but she's got some really early ones, including the Walter P-38 Man from U.N.C.L.E. version of Megatron in the box, because when Takara was making these Transformers, they were making them in 1974. Not, it's a whole generation ahead of what people are accustomed to. But it's the same figure, but it's die-cast metal. The Megatron is die-cast and actually shoots. It shoots it shoots pellets.
And it shoot pretty far, because we tested. No, we don't like the cartoon. Now, the modern cartoons, because we did see the trilogy that was on Netflix. That actually was pretty good. The first part, the second part, not so much. And then it picked back up on the third one.
Yeah.
And I tried watching some of the other more modern cartoons, and they were okay. They had one with The Rock. I didn't really care for that one.
Oh, I think I know the one.
I don't even think we finished.
Dwayne Johnson was doing voiceovers on it. It was kind of really goofy.
Yeah, we didn't even finish that one, but the movie was good. The original Transformer movie, the cartoon movie, and then, like I said, the trilogy that's on Netflix. I actually liked. Yeah,
Elite Action Joe's has joined us.
Hey, Elite Action Joe.
Yeah, we're hanging in there. We're doing all right so far today. And Heather says, I know not fans of the Transformers.
Yeah, so I just answered.
Herc says, I started collecting Transformers, but it gets out of hand real quick.
Yeah.
There's too many incarnations and too many companies making them.
Not just that, we saw some videos of some people, and they got like the whole thing. They got every single one. But and that's the same for all lines. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Masters of the Universe. When you get every single one, then you're like, it looks overwhelming. You know what I mean? Because especially if you get into it later in life, like now, you're like sitting there like, oh my God, look at all that. And then they have it divided up into years, into Decepticons and Autobots and all of that. It can be real, it can get out of hand quick, especially if you like also the masterpiece, because I thought about getting the masterpiece, but then that got really confusing with all those numbers. And then I seen a couple of people on YouTube explaining to you what those numbers mean. And I'm like, if you had to make videos explaining what these numbers mean, then I don't need that.
Yeah, I know, but it's too many. And even when they were when Hasbro was originally cranking them out, there were so many, which is why they killed a bunch of characters in the film so they could try to brush them off. And it's like, okay, now we can release some new ones, because Takara had already been going for years, and all they were doing was duplicating Takara's molds. Same thing that Bandai did with the Power Rangers when Power Rangers came here, transferring it from what was it, Super Sentai? So yeah, they were just copying molds. It was cheap. It was a good idea, but it was just way too much fast, and it was overwhelming even in the 80s. And now here we are decades later, and they never really stopped making Transformers.
Wheels of Doom is asking something.
Where are we? Right, off topic, I see. Do you both think we're in the last of the toy collectors of people who do it as a hobby? Do you think kids today will pick up the hobby and take our place in 20 to 30 years? I think that the hobby will always kind of be there, but in 30 years from now, there's going to be a lot less people doing it. If I was going to hazard a guess, because the kids that are coming up today, they may get into it out of curiosity, or as part of a fan base, or because a relative does it. But since fewer of them are interested in toys, fewer of them will seek that in the future. So you see it dwindle off. It's like model train collectors or cap gun collectors, things like that. It's dwindled down over the years, but they're still out there.
Yeah, but then like with those, you had one toy that was replaced by another, that was replaced by another. Now you don't really have any. I mean, yeah, you got those Bratz, and they still make Barbies and all these other stuff. But really, when you look at that stuff, do you think, oh man, in 30 years, people going to be wanting this? You know what I mean?
The Funko Pop generation.
I mean, maybe the Marvel Legends people might want in 30 years, but they're not making anything new. Even Marvel Legends and Star Wars and McFarlane are making old characters. They're just reimagining them. It's nothing brand new coming out.
Yeah.
They're not making, even in the Batman universe or the Marvel Legend, not making a brand new character. It's the same characters that's always been there. They're just putting
when they make new characters, people aren't that interested in them, and they don't develop them well.
Yeah, they don't develop them well. And then when we were kids, if a toy maker had an idea about a toy, what did they do? They made a comic book, they made a cartoon to sell a toy. So they had all of these things in place to get that toy out there. Now, the cartoons are ridiculous. I don't even know if they make cartoons for kids anymore.
And if they do, you don't want your kids watching them.
Yeah, because
it's all political. It's weird.
Well, I've seen a few. I used to go get my hair done at this one lady house, and her kid used to watch cartoons. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, girl, how can you watch this? All they do is scream, and it's so fast, and it's like, what are they even saying?
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's
anymore.
Real colorful.
There's no thought. There's no thought process.
Yeah.
In the modern cartoons. But let me see where we are. Robert says I should do a video on G.I. Joe from 70s and 60s. I vaguely remember them. Yeah, I got some sitting up here. I remember an Ape Man. Ape Man. That would be the Invader from the Super Joe line from like 1977, 77, 78. And he says he remembers a guy with a silver helmet head, Bullet Man, which there actually was a Bullet Man who was a golden age comic book character.
Yeah, he wasn't a G.I. Joe though.
No, but when they did Atomic Man, which was to to try to ride the coattails of the popularity of Kenner's $6 Million Man.
Mm-hmm.
They also made Bullet Man. I don't know how they pulled Bullet Man out of a hat, but Bullet Man was an existing Golden Age comic book character from like the 40s.
We've seen some comic books with him, and he's like, he rammed his head through a ship. So you see him go in one side of the ship and come out with his and it's, you're sitting there like,
he just flies through stuff.
Yeah. And he got this helmet on that looked like the tip of a bullet.
Yeah.
And he just run through stuff. And
it's crazy. Hank says, I'm thinking of buying an Aura Joe vehicle. I can't choose between the Cobra Parasite or the Badger. And those are from later 80s, right? And the Badger, I think it looks like a mudding vehicle. It's got big tires, green. Oh. And then the Parasite's like an orange one, I think.
You don't have either one.
I don't have those. I don't have those. Maybe the I don't know. Maybe the Badger.
Well, you got to decide if you're going to get loose or
is it loose? Is it boxed? Yeah, make sure it's complete because it'll be hard to find parts.
Yeah. You could do what I do and find the cheapest one on eBay.
Elite says, I do the beautiful original 12-inch Joes like the ones behind you, vintage and modern. Oh, you mean these ones up here? Yeah. You can't see all the way up because it goes all the way up to the ceiling. And the boxed ones there, the 64 boxed ones, those are unplayed with. They're untouched. They get the unused sticker sheets and everything in there. But yeah, and I like those too when I can find them. It's hard to find that stuff complete and decent condition.
And you rarely see them at shows.
Yeah.
You see the newer ones, the newer 12-inch ones.
Yeah, or Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame series. The Heather says Masterpiece got too expensive. Of course, they're talking about Transformers.
The Transformers.
Mm-hmm. I bet. And Herc says, I see kids in the stores sitting on a tablet and what they're watching sounds mind-numbing. That's a pet peeve of mine, to be in the grocery store and see like a 3-year-old holding mommy's phone watching some trash.
Oh, you're in the restaurant.
Yeah, it's like, take that away.
We were in the restaurant it was about a month or so ago, and it was this little baby. I know that baby wasn't 1 year old. You remember when we was at the hibachi place and that little baby was sitting in the high chair with the phone
on the table?
Yeah.
And he's like slumped over staring at it. It's like, program your kids to be brainless as soon as possible.
And then he couldn't have been 1 year old because it was the way it was propped up in the high chair. You could look at him and tell. I don't think the child was 1. If he was 1, he wasn't 18 months. So, and it's like, man, you start them kids off early on that phone.
Yeah. Hank says, us toy collectors are a dying breed because none of the properties in the last 20 years or so are going to carry any nostalgic weight. Probably not.
I don't think so.
A lot of it doesn't look that interesting. It's not fun.
I don't even really believe that the new Origins, even the NECAs or the Marvel Legends, I don't think they're going to have the desire and the appeal like the 70s and 80s toys that we look for now. People might want them, but it's not going to be like a mad rush for them. You're not going to go to comic shop. Man, I wish I could find that 2022 NECA figure. You know what I mean?
Oh, go to Target. They're drowning in them. They're falling off the shelves.
Yeah, and they got a lot of stuff on clearance.
Hank says loose complete.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the Badger, but I mean, I can't tell you. You whatever strikes you with that eye appeal that looks like it'll fit nicely with your collection, of course.
But I noticed when I'm looking for G.I. Joes for him, I usually buy him the vehicles because he got too many of the other things, the action figures. But the vehicles sealed in the box or complete in the box are not that much. And I was surprised because I was like, man, these things are going to be a lot. But when I started looking for them, they actually wasn't that much, or they're not that much. And I try to find the ones that are, affordable.
Yeah.
And when they get bigger, like the flag and the dome and stuff like that is when it started costing.
It took forever for me to find a Terradrome.
Now he want a Defiant.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Actually, the Defiant would be nice if I could find it. But the Terradrome, I just wanted a loose, complete Terradrome. Didn't even need to have the box. But because I knew if I bought one incomplete, I'd be like 10 years looking for parts, and they would be stupid expensive. I'd end up paying 2-3 times the cost of the Terradrome. It's always better if you can find everything all together.
Yeah.
You know, rather than trying to cherry pick pieces all over the place.
Some people like that though, because I heard a guy on YouTube, he doesn't care if he finds, like if somebody sent him something, because he told people, you know, hey, I'm looking for this. If you have it, I'll buy it from you. It doesn't matter if it's complete, because I like going out, finding the individual parts to go with it. So some people like that stuff.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't want to hunt parts for the rest of my life and have people tell me, you know, oh, well, this is rare, so I need $80 for this and whatever. And it's like, dude, give me a break.
And then you find out it's 3D printed.
Yeah, geez, that's not even funny. Because a lot of that happens. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, and that's another thing. We've been to the shows and people got a G.I. Joe or something, and they're like, yeah, it's complete, but this part, and this part are 3D printed.
Then it ain't complete.
It is in a way. It's not complete with the original parts, but it's complete. It got all of the pieces. It got pieces on it.
It's got a great big okey doke is what it's got. Little sidestep in there. Or the other pet peeve of mine with the G.I. Joe collectors at these shows or sellers at the shows is, oh yeah, it's mint and complete, but it doesn't include the figure. I sell the figure separately. If it came with a figure and you're not including the figure, then it's not complete. Okay? Please understand this. And it's a raw, specifically, it's a raw sellers that pull that all the time.
Well, everything else didn't come with figures. Like if you buy a Master of the Universe vehicle, you're not getting a figure, and it tells you.
They had stuff like that, but you know, it was usually like a holiday Sears thing or Montgomery Ward's or something like that, where they had the exclusive 2-packs. Johnny says, yeah, cartoons today, besides the story, are drawn horrible with square jawlines and triangle hair. Yeah.
Johnny was cutting down some small trees. That's why he's late.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's okay. Elite says unboxed is amazing. I only have one box for a talker. Okay. Robert says, I'm surprised you never hung up the Joe Star Wars vehicles on the ceiling. No, I don't want to do that.
I tried to get him to do that with the airplanes and the helicopter, but he don't want to.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that.
K Munchin. What is that?
Where are you?
I'm just seeing the name and say hi. Hey.
Hi, guys. From first time commenting, the prices of the Hasbro line are starting to hit Japanese import levels, but are nowhere near the quality of the imports. When does the bottom drop out? Great channel. Well, thank you.
Brazil is in the house.
Oh, somebody from Brazil?
What happens in Brazil? No, what is that?
Where are you?
Right there. I'm just saying hi to M.
Greetings
Drake.
from Brazil. Oh, M. Drake.
And Illmatic. Hey.
Illmatic is here. Didn't see as many graded G1 Transformers as other retro brands. And when you do, think people will start grading later Transformers lines. I hope they don't.
They doing it.
I don't want to jump all over the place.
Yeah, I was just saying hi.
Yeah, K. Munin was when does the bottom drop out? When people get tired of paying for it. That was the argument when we were talking about the new the return of starting lineup, which again, if you saw my video commentary on that, they're not really starting lineup figures. They're Legends figures. They're just using name recognition to sell them. But at $50 a pop, how far are they going to get with that? You know, it's if people don't buy them, Hasbro will learn a lesson. But if people pay for it, Hasbro's going to keep going. And odds are they'll sell out. It'll sell out even just because it's the beginning of the line and people want to get ahead of that. So yeah, when people are no longer willing to pay for that, that's when it'll make a difference. And Herc B says, crazy to think parents actually had to parent their children instead of just distracting them. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I could never do that. It would hurt my feelings. It hurts my feelings.
I don't go to another topic before I get upset.
Why are you gonna get upset?
Because you know that topic right there.
Yeah,
I'll go on for an hour. So keep on going.
And Wheel says he slowed down on G1 era, and I collect Transformers only from the G1 era and the G1 look. I've slowed down on them, however. I don't need 5 versions. Yeah. And that was her argument with the Masters. When people keep, oh, you're going to get Origins? And she was like, why?
Yeah.
It looks just like everything else they put out.
Yeah, it does. And then, you know, you're already fighting for space. Things are already expensive. Why buy the same figure over and over again? And the only difference is the label or the year it came out. You look on the back and the year it came out. That's the only real difference. I mean, yeah, they do upgrades to the actual figure because, you know, they got better articulation most times and stuff like that. But all in all, it's the same figure.
And Johnny Future made a donation for the Feline Fund. He says, "Because of course, if you're new to the channel, you know we take care of strays.
And now is a new one trying to bogart her way in. We saw her
that tiger stripe one
2 days ago.
She was trying. She was pretty friendly though, but Hobo don't like her.
But he's trying to take charge of the back porch.
I feel bad for him, but I can see why he's so defensive. He probably feels like he has to. We're in a kind of a rural area. People abandon cats out here a lot.
And they come to our house.
Yeah, they come to us because, you know, I guess they can see where the other cats are. And they're like, okay, let me check this out.
Free meal.
Hobo's that orange one. He has like no teeth. He has he's like 5 teeth in his head. And I was wondering, because when you put the bowl out, he's out there for an hour and a half eating. And I'm like, what is the deal with this cat? Finally, let me get close enough to start checking him out. And he's all wrecked. He's all scabs and injury to his jawline. And he's missing like almost all his teeth. And it's like, oh, my God, no wonder. But yeah, thank you, Johnny, because it's a lot to take care of.
And his mouth looks real funny. We were always like, what's
wrong with his mouth? It looks like somebody kicked him in the jaw and knocked his teeth out. Poor thing.
So now he's more comfortable. But then when it's feeding time,
he gets a little upset.
He runs everybody else away.
Well, he runs the twins away.
Well, yeah, the other two that are not aggressive, they're not aggressive at all. He runs them off. And then the little tiny kittens are too scared to come on the porch.
Yeah, because there's a couple of kittens that turned up, the gray one and another one, a little black one I call Speck. It's like this big.
Yeah, he's the little runt of the group.
Yeah, from wherever that one came from. And then unless I put Uncle outside, and then everybody's scared. Because now Uncle stays in the house pretty much 85% of the time.
He runs the house.
And he is 20 freaking pounds of tuxedo cat. And he's not fat. He's just huge. I got the flea collar for him. The large for small breeds. The collar's like that big. It won't fit. You got to staple the end of the collar to get it on. And I'm like, oh my God. But they terrified him when he comes out.
Yeah, everybody's scared.
And he doesn't really bother anybody. He lays down and he looks around at everybody and they're all backing off.
Yeah, he likes to go outside sometime and just be outside.
And which is fine, you know.
But anyway, back to nostalgia.
Johnny wants to know if you have the Transformers Back to the Future crossover.
Yeah. No, wait.
The Back to the Future one.
No,
I know you got the Ghostbusters.
I have the Ghostbuster one, not the Back to the Future one.
Okay. And Ilmatic says, don't see as many graded G1 Transformers as other retro brands. And when you do, and when do you think people will start grading? Oh, I was reading that and I got sidetracked. I hope they don't.
I have seen it. It's a toy dealer on eBay. He has a lot of them. He has a lot of graded action figures. And he got a lot of Masters of the Universe, a lot of Transformers, and I think Ninja Turtles. He got some other stuff. He sell them non-graded too, but he has a lot of graded ones. And it's a place in Dallas. I seen a YouTube video. I think it's called Dallas Vintage Toys or something like that. But
they grade everything.
Yeah, somebody brought in, I want to say it was all Masters of the Universe. They brought in like every single one. And they sent them all out to be graded. And then when they got them back in, they showed them, hey, this is what we got. Somebody sold it to us. We bought it. We sent them out. And now they just came back and they're up in the store. And I'm like,
I mean, I don't mind grading comics.
Yeah.
You know, there are comics I will grade. I don't grade all of them, but there are certain ones, you know, to preserve them if they're really old or if it's something that means something to me, I like to grade it.
Mhm.
With the toys, it's a little different. I don't care for that too much. And I don't like the idea that once they've graded a toy or an action figure, that suddenly it's 12, 15, 20 times the value for some reason.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of controversy around AFA also about being kind of slippery with their grading and also being connected with toy sales of graded stuff. So they were kind of giving themselves a sliding scale and got caught. And there was a lot of controversy about that some time ago. I don't know how I feel about all that. And I hate to see a slope of like, one day you can't even find a carded Joe. They're all slabbed, you know. Let me see. Robert says, where am I? Oh no, Elite Action. I came across a Terradrome at a barn sale. Okay, okay shape, not complete, but the guy wanted 700. And that's what I'm talking about. He looked up on eBay and says, oh, somebody's trying to get 7 for this. And that's the ticket that they put on it. And you're running into way too much of that out in the wild, as they say. Yard sales, garage sales, estate sales, stuff like that, the thrift stores. And they got
the thrift store get
prices.
on my nerves with that. Because they don't pay for nothing except for the building and the lights and water. All of the products are free because it's donated.
Yeah.
So why are you trying to get all eBay prices?
No purchasing overhead.
Yeah, or brand new prices. We went there. I went to one of them. It was a tool. I think like a drill or something, and it was old. You could tell it was old. And they want like $50, and you can go to Walmart and buy a brand new one with a year warranty for $50.
The one that I put on the Instagram, I don't do Instagram as often as I should, but it was a loose Speak and Spell, but it was the anniversary one you can go to Target and buy right now, and they had it loose and they had like $50 on it or something, and I'm like, are you kidding? New in the box at Target, it's cheaper than this. This is not an original Speak and Spell. They don't know. They can't tell the difference. They just their expert is some guy that sits there at eBay like this, says, oh yeah, that looks right. That looks right. No, it's not right.
I couldn't work at those places. Everything would be 99 cents.
It should be 99 cents.
And if it's a piece of furniture, it's gonna be $5.
And then when you come in, they're like, welcome to Goodwill. Let the treasure hunt begin.
You know what really gets on my nerve at Goodwill? Like they'll have a set of dishes.
Oh no.
It'll be like the sauces, the regular plate. It'll be 4 sauces, 4 regular plates, and 4 bowls and 4 teacups. And it's all individually priced. And you can look at that thing and tell they go together because they got the same pattern on it. So why are you selling it separately? Why you can't just bundle it together and say, you know, you got all of this right here for $5?
No, or because they used to sell it in sets. They would put it in a box and tape it and put a piece of paper on top. That's how Goodwill used to do it. Or when you get the pots and then the lids have a separate price. It's like, you bastards.
If I worked there.
Oh, Kaiser Kaiju has joined us.
Hey, Kaiser, they'll fire me because I'm telling you, I'm serious. I'll have that pricing sticker, 99 cents. If it's a set of plates and some dishes, $5. Furniture, $5. Clothes, $1.
Do you want to get rid of the stuff or not?
Yeah, and then they sell you stuff that is obviously broke. The arm is broken on this little statue figurine. The ear is gone. It's supposed to have this. It's supposed to have that. It's broke. And they're going to want $20 for it. And it's like,
comment, we apologize.
Yeah,
it's scrolling
David
through.
Is just on it.
Oh, well, Wheel says in Australia, the Black Series stuff is peg warmers really bad. Did we have a blip there? Because we got a flash from YouTube, so hopefully you didn't lose us, guys.
Yeah.
But he was saying that the Star Wars Black Series, people are tired of paying that much for that stuff.
The only way their price is going to go down is if you don't buy it. You got to talk with your money.
because they can do it for cheaper.
Yeah, they can. They just don't want to.
I know from experience. But Herc says, I see Hasbro stuff sitting as well. Yeah, they got too high. People got sick and tired of it. And M. Drake wants to know if we're going to get the Eternia playset from Mattel Creations.
No.
And Ridley's here. Thanks for joining us. No, she likes to concentrate more on the original if she can.
Yeah.
We got lucky a while back, and we put a video up with this guy in the Netherlands.
Oh yeah.
Wanted to sell a box lot. He needed the money. He needed it. He said he needed it for his car, and he had a big box lot of carded original 80s Masters of the Universe, and we worked something out with him. It was a really reasonable price, and it was before the spike. And it was like, okay, yeah, we'll go for it. And they're hanging on her wall. It's nice collection. Sometimes you luck out.
Yeah, sometimes. No, Robert, I'm not getting no Origins He-Man. I don't care how his hands look. He's gonna stay in the store.
Ridley said that Friday was kind of a bummer.
Oh no!
Watching Scream 2 on Blu-ray in the theater room, and the last act kept skipping. Try cleaning the disc, no luck. Oh, that stinks.
You got to use Brasso.
And trying to clean the disc, accidentally broke an empty beer bottle and cut themselves.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Or who did the cat?
Ridley did.
Oh.
Cut themselves with the broken glass.
Bottle.
That stinks.
Yeah.
Elite says kids don't have lines of toys anymore that involves imagination, like 12-inch G.I. Joe and Fisher Price. Oh, I love the Adventure People.
Yeah, he got.
Yeah, you can see a couple of some sitting right here. These are original Fisher Price Adventure People.
Moon Dust. Electric Emphasis.
Adventure People, no show, books or movie, just great toys with potential. Yeah, and especially this had nothing. And it was all imagination. And they were sturdily built figures, too. They held up. Nate says, I have some things boxed up and ready to hit your post office. Oh, really?
Yay.
Early mid-70s goodies. So there's plenty of bubble wrap just for David. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You will have to show that on an unboxing.
The cats love bubble wrap.
And Moondust wants to know who's in the will. Because who's going to get all the toys and comics and stuff.
We already said the house is going to get burned down with us in the middle.
Oh, my God.
The house and everything in it.
Electric Emphasis says, out of curiosity, if some of the toys in your collection already started to break down, disintegrate, fungus, virus, He-Man, no. We've done...
a virus.
Moondust wants to know where Miss Kitty is. She's upstairs.
No, she's in the garage.
Is she in the garage?
Need to be.
Oh, poor baby. She likes to go in there and hang out sometimes.
Because she can be by herself.
Yeah, she likes that.
Being anywhere where nobody else
Either
is.
with one of us or alone. She don't like hanging out with the other cats. But where was I? Electric Emphasis. Yeah, we did a whole video talking about caring for your collection, because where we are is a controlled environment. When we're in here, the lights are on. When we're not in here, there is no light. There's no windows, nothing. So it's pitch black. It's so dark in here to make your eyes water. It's cool down here. There's air circulation. It's dry. We shut them off when we do the video, but we have dehumidifiers that run 24/7. So there's no moisture, no mold problems. When you've got a controlled environment like that, it'll help to preserve. So no sunlight, no moisture, nothing like that. And, regular maintenance, dusting, which very little dusting is actually required because it's a controlled environment. So we don't have those issues. We don't have things breaking down, fortunately. Wheel says, I found a lot of great VHS tapes of films I like in discount stores. Rental copies and retail releases are like $2 to $5 or less. I know they're less than $1 at Value Village, the VHSs.
Yeah.
And that's an untapped market to some degree. So are laser discs, the big laser discs in the box. I frequently see those. They pop up at Goodwill and Value Village, at places like that for like $1 or $2. That for people that collect or into that kind of nostalgic media, even if you don't play the stuff, it's one of those untapped markets. Coloring books is another good one that people don't put too much emphasis in as far as collecting.
Johnny said he went to the mall yesterday and there's no more FYE.
Oh, it's gone?
I guess so.
Yeah, that's because they put too much emphasis on Funko. No, I don't know. But I don't know. We haven't been to the mall for a while, so I don't know if FYE is still there.
Yeah.
Nate wants to know if anyone else is through with Hasbro. A lot of people are frustrated with Hasbro's
I've seen
prices.
a lot of videos on YouTube talking about how people are done with Marvel Legends and Hasbro, whatever, and Star Wars and the Black Series and all of that stuff that they've done because the prices are high and they can't find the items in the stores.
Mm-hmm. Hank says he just got the Badger. We were just talking about for
eBay.
$32, and he had one as a kid and loved it, and that's what it's about.
And it's complete, he said, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ridley says I noticed some modern kids' toys advertises an app to play with on the toy. I hate that. Even when I was younger, I hated the toys when they had all the little electronic gadgets. You're making noises and stuff. I never liked that. I just want it the way it is. That's why G.I. Joe, even the raw era, was one of my favorites, just because it was a fully articulated figure and you could do a lot more with them, all the little accessories and stuff. I didn't need lights and sounds and crap. Lori Hank said, always talking to Nate.
Okay.
What's your most fragile toy? Ridley says.
Any one of my statues.
Oh yeah, the statues.
Yeah.
Actually, here, this is a good example. This is a fragile one.
I gotta be fragile is in the box.
I gotta be careful with it though. You'll see. You do. I'm gonna explain why. Okay.
No, one of mine that's a statue is fragile. You can't touch it.
Yeah. This is Loki from the Space Academy. You remember the live action on CBS Saturday mornings in the 70s, live action Space Academy, and it was a spin-off of Jason from Star Command. They made 4 action figures, and it was made by a company called Aviva Toys. And there's the 4 of them, including the guy who used to be Dr. Smith, right there, the only action figure ever made of him before his death. The type of plastic that they're made out of dissolves. So usually when you see these figures, his hands are missing. They fall apart into like little chunks. So you'll have the figure still strapped to the package, and he's a torso and legs with 2 empty sleeves and basically dust in the bottom of the box.
Oh wow.
So, and exposure to light or moisture will kill this. So it's a very fragile figure, even though it's not worth a whole hell of a lot. It's still very fragile. And this is unfortunately the most common of the figures. They made more of these than they did of the other 3 characters.
No, I do not own any Bob Ross stuff. I used to watch Bob Ross growing up. Yeah. But I just have the shirt because I'll go to like Goodwill and Value Village and look for nostalgic shirts, t-shirts, and buy them. And I saw this one and I like what it said. But no, I don't own anything Bob Ross.
Okay. And Johnny says there's only one.
I think I got one Bob Ross pop.
You might.
I think I do.
Johnny says there's only one FYE left in Washington State.
Wow, the whole state.
Ouchie.
Ew.
And Robert says he still sees Spencer's. Yeah, this is Spencer's in the mall near us, I think.
Yeah.
They got weird junk in there, though. It is weird. Moondust says Toys R Us pop-up stores in the future. Well, I mean, they've already done that, and that was a big okie doke because people were real excited about the fact, Toys R Us is coming back. No, it's basically in the toy department in Macy's. They just hang a Toys R Us sign in there, and there you go. Yeah. And that was basically it. Although now there's a rumor going around that they're going to reopen 5 flag stores across the United States, kind of FAO Schwartz style. Because, FAO Schwartz was a famous toy store, but there was only a handful of them. There was like one in Boston, one in New York, that kind of a thing. So the remaining shareholders of Toys R Us are going to try that approach. We'll see how it goes. Rumor has it one is going to be in Atlanta. So we'll see.
Might be downtown.
But otherwise, you're just getting a a Toys R Us flag in the Macy's toy department at Christmas.
But what are they going to sell at Toys R Us, really? Because we were talking about toys earlier and how the modern toys nobody wants.
Yeah.
So
it's us. We're the ones that want the freaking toys.
So what are they going to sell at Toys R Us? They're going to have, the Brat dolls and the Barbies and all of that other stuff, and maybe Marvel Legends and NECAs and the same things you can buy at Walmart and Target.
Yeah, probably. Who knows?
So I mean, do you really want that? Do you need a Toys R Us to have the same thing that you got at GameStop, Walmart, Target, and Best Buy? Well, probably not Best Buy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You already got those same things. They're not going to sell anything different. They might have more of it.
Perhaps.
I
mean, if you're looking for adult toy collecting items, you could probably find a better selection in Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble, they had a big selection. We haven't been to one in a while.
They had the Tamashii Nations, and they had the Bandai Spirits, and they had a few other oddball stuff that you normally don't see in the toy stores. You didn't see it in Toys R Us for sure. Robert says he got the Toynami figures and saved and got the Kit's Concept 1/12 Roy Fokker cockpit. Oh yeah, that's an expensive piece too, isn't it?
What is he talking about?
The Robotech cockpits. It was like a 1/12 scale cockpit with a figure in it that I showed some time ago on one of the weekly roundups. But yeah, those are nice pieces. No comic T-shirts today. Sorry, guys. Ridley says their FYE downsized the movies and music and mostly have knickknacks. Yeah, that's been going on with all of them. They used to have a huge pop dedicated section, and they got rid of all that.
Yeah, they got rid of that, and then they started doing more of the the Funko cereals, and they had what's the Diamond Select? They had a lot of Diamond Select and those big 1-to-1 scale.
Oh yeah, they had a couple of those. Like anybody's gonna buy that. I'm gonna pay $2,000 for a vinyl Deadpool mannequin. Oh, Ilmatic says he has to go.
Okay, well, thank you for stopping by. Really says
Brats. I don't think those have been on the market for 20 years. We don't know.
I don't know,
because we don't buy that stuff.
Don't even go over in that side of the store to see what they got.
Robert says, what happens if a toy version of Walmart opens and closes down all the mom and pop stores selling Hot Toys and third-party Mezco? I don't think they want to carry that kind of stuff in a Walmart because they can't rely on their employees to take care of it.
Yeah, and then they would put that security ban on it, and then they crunch it down so tight that it make a hole in the box and people don't want it.
Yeah. Well, you saw the picture. If those of you who were on our Facebook group, Open by Chance on Facebook, that picture of that bin, that clearance bin with the Funko Pops in it. They just poured boxes of them in there, and it was just piled up. And it's like, Funko Pop collectors, even though they take them out of the box, are really, really anal about box condition. Worse so than even other types of collectors, because their boxes are very fragile.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, okay, way to go, Walmart. Are you selling them for 50 cents a piece? Because otherwise, I don't think you're going to move them.
Johnny asks if you're going to make a video of your long box finds.
Yeah, we probably are.
Yeah, we're going to probably film it tomorrow.
Flip through and just see what's in there. Because I like I said, I barely just skimmed through it real quick.
How are we going to do it? Are we going to do it like how we did the records, or just like
we can't? I don't think we can show every book because it'd be like 700 books at least.
Oh, okay. Well, we just pick out some. And
it just we can just scroll through and you can film over my shoulder, something like that, just so that people can see. Something like that. But and we were also thinking about doing along with more comic related stuff, like maybe once or twice a month filming our pickups.
Yeah, we were talking
and showing
about
people
that.
what we've been getting, because we find some weird stuff or some real gems sometimes outside of just going to the conventions.
Yeah. And then doing more of that and doing his keys, like he's been doing the comic keys.
Yeah, key recommendations video. I'll keep doing that. I got one that'll be coming out this week, actually. Key recommendations.
Yeah.
Or undervalued keys that you could go out and pick up for a pretty decent price, not like, oh, you have to have this key, and it turns out it's like $2,400 in like a 6 or something like that. Moondust says, have you bought anything from Radio Shack that you still have or use?
I used to work at Radio Shack. I worked at Radio Shack back in 96. When I was in college here in Atlanta, I worked at Radio Shack. I don't think I don't have anything.
They had some cool toys.
They did. They had a lot of radio toys, the remote control. But I worked at one on it's called Buford Highway here in Atlanta. And man, that store used to get robbed all the time. And it was in a shopping plaza. This huge shopping plaza. And in the shopping plaza, they had a police station in the shopping plaza. And they would come around and tell you, hey, if you suspect any shoplifters, call us.
Yeah.
I called like twice. They never showed up. I mean, not even later. They just never showed up. They didn't even answer the phone because it had a special number that you would dial, and it's supposed to go directly to that station. Sure. And they would never show up. And that store used to get robbed blind. People would come in, and they're actually for something that they know would be in the back. So you would have to go get it. And then while you're in the back getting it, they're coming in like 5-6 people, and then they'll walk out with stuff. And after a while, I just told them we don't have it at all. It's not in the bag. It's nowhere.
Yeah, you can't be off the floor. They used to do that in shoe stores a lot too. Mm-hmm. Kaiser says he never sees Legends or Black Series at Walmart.
We don't see them anymore.
You see the Legends. When they had the Eternals Legends, man, they hung around at Walmart for a long time.
Yeah. But in our Walmart they have like some, but
And Hanks wants a trivia question. Give us a trivia question. Okay, here's one for you. Since we just mentioned Radio Shack, who knows what the name of the because they always had this, the robot toy from Radio Shack.
They had a robot.
They had a robot arm, and it was blue, gray, and orange, and you had the 2 joysticks, and it would reach and grab like this, and you could pick things up and put it down with the controllers. Who remembers what the name of that is? I know what the name is.
What did Electric Emphasis say?
Where?
Exotic car high.
Do you think in the future the toy market will change and that 3D printed action figures will be released by many independent toy sellers? If that got big, there's a lot of people that make their own thing, or that make bootlegs of, or I should say knockoffs, actually, because a bootleg is if it's never been done. A knockoff is if somebody's already done it.
Yeah.
If that got really big, people will be getting slammed with licensing lawsuits all over the place. So since it's small, it's kind of ignored. But if that got big, they would put an end to it. They would put an end to it legally. Let me see. Ridley says, I got another screen. Oh, they have to leave. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. And, this will be saved if you wanted to come back and look later. Moondust says, what about doing undercover at Goodwill videos for old time's sake? Disappointment at Goodwill?
He used to do some. He has a couple on. Is it on this? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's you. If you want disappointment, disappointment at Goodwill. Look, I found nothing again.
Lame Will.
Yeah, Lame Will, and everything's broken. And God,
we went there actually this past week. For the first time in a long time, and we did find some records.
Vinyl, didn't you? Yeah, she did find some vinyl records,
and I was shocked because this Goodwill haven't had records in a long time. Because
it's been a few months.
Yeah, but we kind of quit going because we used to go to the thrift stores once a week, at the least.
It gets worse and worse.
Yeah, so it's like, man, I waste my gas and time coming out here, so we just quit going.
Yeah, Robert wants to know what's on the agenda. Convention wise, and am I thinking about getting any 6-scale Trek? I like them, but I'm not going to get any more because I just don't want to invest any more money in it. Because I was getting the ones from QMX. I think QMX canceled my last 2 orders, and then because they didn't make the Sulu and the Scotty, very few were released, and now some other companies making them, and I'm like, okay, they look all right, but I don't want to get spread all over the place. Exotic Carfax got it right because people said Robbie Robot, Tow Bar, whatever. It was Armatron was the name of the toy. Exotic Car got it right.
What was the name of the Radio Shack computer?
Oh yeah, let's see if somebody knows that one. She should
know.
That
one is easy.
Is it?
I think so.
Hank says Nico radio controlled vehicles that were sold at Radio Shack were the best. Yeah, they had some decent stuff. It was not, it wasn't name brand, but it was cool.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool stuff. Where are we here?
Sizzle Sail Bar.
Oh, they're just making up names. Oh. Yeah, Armatron, guys. Electric Emphasis said it also. Mine still works. You got one. Excellent.
Wow. Sizzle Steak.
Tandy. Moonda said Tandy.
Yeah, it
Tandy computer. Yeah.
I used to work at Sizzler.
Oh yeah.
That was a
Everywhere she works goes out of business.
It did go out of business. And let me tell you, that was so sad. I was here in Atlanta in college. That was where I worked right before I went to Radio Shack. They went out of business, and it was a restaurant, kind of like what Ryan's used to be. You know, you go in and you can either order from the back or eat from the salad bar. But they went out of business, but didn't tell anybody. So I showed up to work, walking through the parking lot, and the parking lot is empty. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Because I got there like right after school. So it was really right before it kind of opened. And I walk inside, and one of the ladies is sitting there, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? She was like, we're closed. I was like, what do you mean we're closed? She like, the business, the restaurant went out of business, and whatever the manager name is didn't even stick around to tell anybody. So I got here, she told me, and then left. So I'm just waiting around for people to come in so I can let them know. And I'm like, what? And that's how we found out that the restaurant went out of business, and that was it. And
Robert says we should do comic reviews too.
I thought about that, honestly.
Did you?
We talked about that.
Did we?
I ain't gonna act brand new like you don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing.
We did think about that. I don't know how it would go. We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, we're doing a lot of stuff. Richard says I saw the Goodwill video years ago.
Hey, Richard. Yeah.
Richard is there. Yeah, Kenny Potter is here also.
Hey, Kenny.
Thank you for joining us, Kenny. I have a stack of Radio Shack comic books. I used to love that place. Have a working rock tumbler too. Oh, I remember the rock tumbler. Yeah. And Johnny says computer class in high school used Tandy Model 3. Moondust wants to know who had the most jobs.
David.
Probably me. Yeah.
I didn't have that many jobs. I can name them all. David can't.
Because I used to work. I would work multiple jobs at once. Especially growing up, I'd have like 3 jobs at a time, and work all of them. You know. So it's like, because I was working at Store 24, which was a convenience store, Crystal's shoe store. This is in Boston, and Coolidge Cleaners, dry cleaner. All 3 at the same time. You know, stuff. I used to do that when I was a kid.
My first job was at a funeral home. I worked at the local funeral home. I was a secretary. Then I went to McDonald's. Then I moved to Atlanta, and I worked at Captain D's. And then I went to Sizzler, and then Radio Shack. And then I joined the military.
Yeah. Scary funeral. Yeah. You kill them, we grill them. She used to run the ovens.
I didn't really know. I was a secretary. All I did was answer phones.
That's what you said.
Type out receipts.
Shady's funeral home. You kill them, we grill them.
I had nothing to do with no damn body. I wasn't even trying to see one.
You rough them, we stuff them. That's right.
Do you remember Tandy Model 1?
Cassette. I remember that.
Cassette tape and a cassette player to run a program. Wow.
Yeah, it was a box, and had a cable that plugged into the computer, and the loading software was on the tape, kind of like in the old school when you had the 5.5-inch floppy disks. You had to put 2 in because 1 disk was the drive. So you couldn't, the computer wouldn't even run if you didn't put the first disk in before you turned it on.
Robert said he worked at Sizzler, different restaurants, worked Intercontinental Hotel, and then the military.
Okay.
I knew that.
And Kenner wants to know, do you think Marvel Legends, the arms and legs that are pinless cost less than the ones with pin, or pinless cost less than the ones with pins? Probably. If they plug in, it's cheaper. They're not paying nearly. It doesn't cost nearly as much as what they're trying to convince you that it does, or else counterfeit versions wouldn't cost the same. They're trying to see how much they can get away with. Oh, Robert says Frito-Lay job. So yeah, I did work at Frito-Lay. Yeah, all the chips, you get sick of chips. You would get sick of chips. But the what was good was the chili cheese Fritos when they're fresh out of the oven or fresh out of the fryer, because it would get baked. It would go through the oven and get baked, go through the fryer, which these are huge machines. I mean, each the oven and the fryer are like the size of a minivan, and then it would go through the seasoning tumbler and on to go on the other side of the wall where the PMO was, the packing machine operator, where he ran the machine that would bag the chips. So when they're coming down that conveyor belt from the seasoning tumbler and they're really hot, they're still really hot, they taste great. And you can get that effect if you put them in the oven in some tin foil for like 10 minutes just to heat them up. You can kind of get that effect from them. They're really good that way. So try it that way sometime. Did they let you take home free bags of chips? No, you could not take anything free home. And they actually had, where you came in and out, they had their own security force in the plant, and 2 guys from the security team would stand there watching people as they left to make sure they weren't carrying anything that wasn't theirs. However, they did have a company store that opened, I think it was every Tuesday or every Wednesday, I forget. And these are mislabels or misprints. So if stuff was bagged and they screwed up the price on it, or they screwed up the date, something didn't go right when the bags were being stamped with the pertinent information, they would, rather than throw it away, they would send it to the company store. But you could buy a whole case of whatever chips they made. Yeah, they had Funyuns there. They made Funyuns, Cheetos, Fritos, any kind of dipping chips like the Santitos or the Scoops, and Doritos and Lay's were all made there. You could buy the whole case for like I think it was $5 a case.
That's a lot. It should be $1
for a case.
Yeah.
Of chips.
How much is in a case?
It depends on the size of the bag, because it could be 12 big bags or 18 medium bags or 24 the small one. So $5 for the whole freaking case. So that's
50 cents.
Nice. It was a nice consolation for not being able to take the stuff home. They also would put the screw ups in the commissary. So if you went there for lunch, there's chips always there. But yeah. Everybody's saying Funyuns now.
Yeah,
making you
Funyuns
hungry.
Are the best.
Robert says, "Is it me or sometimes the Fritos smell like feet?" Not at the factory. I don't think so. Let me see. K. Munin says, "Since you mentioned Tamashii Nations earlier, I noticed some more space being allocated to their brands across the multiple different retail stores. As a Tamashii Nations collector, I don't mind at all." Yeah, I have several of the Marvel Tamashii Nations. I don't have the Wolverine. I never got the Wolverine. The Wolverine doesn't look like it fits with the rest of them, to be honest.
Oh, yeah?
It doesn't look right. But I do have a bunch of the Tamashii Nations Marvel, but I don't have any of the Star Wars. I like the Star Wars, but I don't have any.
And now they got that new Boba Fett coming out.
Yeah, they just did the Book of Boba Fett version. It's up there though now. It's like 125 is the current retail on it. They increased the price.
Yeah.
And let me see. Yeah, Frito-Lay job sounds kind of cool. It was okay, except for the forced overtime, because it's a union job. And every union job I've ever worked, they get forced overtime, and it got weird. You could end up being stuck to 80 hours. And you're like, oh, but you had all that overtime, but you're already earning a minimum wage job. So if you're working 50 hours already, and if you work 65 because you're in the next tax bracket, you're still making the same as if you work 50 hours, you may as well not be there. But if you refuse the overtime, you get a demerit, because that's how the union works. Never had a forced overtime problem working a right to work job. It's always a union job, and they always give you a hard time.
Yeah, because right to work, they ask you, hey, anybody want to work over? Because you always got that one guy that need the money because their kid need braces or something like that.
Nothing wrong with it. Don't force me to stay. I mean,
just
that's what.
ask, because you might have that one guy, like they having a hard month, you know, some stuff happened, life happened, and they behind on a car payment, or you know, the water heater broke down. So they would love to have some overtime. So just put it out there. Hey, you know, we got some overtime coming up. We need some volunteers. We need 10 people.
Yeah. And
you get it.
The irony of it is, that's one of the things that original unions were fighting in the first place.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that on this channel. We're going to talk about nostalgia.
I'm just saying. It's kind of funny how that works.
Because it leads. The next thing you know, you're talking about unions, and you're talking about the world about the end.
She's trying to. I know she's trying to keep me on track. I understand.
Because we'll go all the way over there real fast, and we won't even know how we got there.
Yeah. But no, we do try to avoid that. Seriously, I know it looks like she's picking on me, but we do try to avoid that on this channel, to keep the politics and the social crap away, so we can just enjoy the hobbies and talk about that kind of stuff, because it's important. But yeah, we do. What's this? What's your worst customer service from hell moment from the past job? What past job? Any job, I guess.
The worst customer service?
Everybody's hungry now. I told them how to bake the Cheetos to pull that. It only works with the chili cheese ones, though. To put them in the oven like that. But you'll really pull that flavor out, especially if you have some of that cooking spray oil, just to because it's still kind of oily when it comes out of the seasoning tumbler, and that'll help to, it'll resorb some of that oil, and it'll make that flavor pop again.
We were supposed to be talking about our worst customer
service.
No,
Kaiser's having ramen.
Ugh, I have never eaten ramen noodle in my whole life.
Really?
No.
Worst customer service. Oh, there's a lot to, because plenty of times especially when I was working in convenience stores when I was younger, people are evil, and I've had to physically drag people out of the store and throw them into the street. I've had several instances like that. So it's hard to pick.
Yeah, I don't know.
I threw a guy in a dumpster at Christie's.
He's so violent.
That's how bad it got.
Oh, wow.
I hoisted him on my shoulder because he was struggling, and I pushed his head down. I grabbed his belt and I hoisted him, and then snapped him over my shoulder and held him under his chin, and ran around the corner and threw him into the dumpster. And I did. And when I came back, there was a line of people, and the guy in the front of the line said, you had to know what he did. But the guy in the front of the line was like, did you just throw that guy in the dumpster? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, that's crazy. And everybody in the store started applauding. And I'm like, okay. And I told the manager about it the next morning, but that guy never called, never said anything. He was like, well, I'll let you know if he makes a complaint with the company. Or no, never heard from him again. I know I'm evil.
Breaking necks. Johnny wants to know,
cashing checks.
What music do you think has become popular in the last 2 decades?
You know what's become popular? He mentions K-pop
Yeah,
here.
that is becoming real big.
What's becoming popular is old. Old is new, because we saw that that thing they were talking about it in the news just recently, like about 3 weeks ago, something like that. That 70s and 80s music is currently outselling all other genres of music in downloading apps. You know, 70s and 80s like rock and pop and disco and all of that is outselling everything. And they're like, we don't understand why. I'll tell you why. It's because modern music is crap. It's not good. It's not well written. It's noisy. The lyrics don't make any damn sense, you know. But what are you laughing at? People picking on me?
No, Johnny said for Christmas he's gonna get me some ramen noodles and get you that Mariah Carey Funko Pop.
No, I don't want a Mariah Carey Funko Pop. but yeah, why is it outselling? Because these people are looking around for better solutions. And then, you know, you got Guardians of the Galaxy using vintage music. You've got what's that other one? That Stranger Things using vintage music, and people are like, wow, that sounds pretty good. And they start looking into it and realize, well, there's a whole genre of music that I've never been exposed to that sounds better than what I'm listening to now. I want this.
Yeah, and we've talked about music a lot on here, and the thing that gets me that I don't understand is because I've listened to a few, especially when the ones that come on commercials, because you can't understand what they're saying. So I always look them up on YouTube with the lyrics to know what they're saying, and it's like you hear it, and you'll be at the gas station or in the store, and the music is playing, especially in Goodwill, and they're singing, and you're like, what are they even saying? You can't understand.
And when you look
words.
it up, it's just nasty.
It's nasty, it's raunchy, and then the words don't make sense. So it's like, who wants to hear that?
Yeah, really. Let me see here. Yeah, and Hank mentions 90s music. Yeah, I'd rather listen to Nirvana than anything that's going on now.
Yeah, 90s music is still good.
You know what's a really good 90s soundtrack?
Somebody said hello. Oh, go ahead.
The Crow. The soundtrack from the original Crow with Brandon Lee is really, really good. You know what's another surprisingly good soundtrack from that time period that you'd never suspect is the Last Action Hero. Schwarzenegger's, it was a comedy making fun of action films. Last Action Hero, the soundtrack is really good. And he picked all the music himself. And that they were talking about it at the time, where they're like, you know, this is a really good soundtrack. And, you know, he likes country western music. So I'm surprised he picked all these great rock songs. But yeah, it's a great soundtrack. Oh yeah, it's master.
They don't really make soundtracks anymore, do they? I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy had a soundtrack.
Yes.
But like in the 80s and 90s, almost every music had a soundtrack, and it was a full-length album with different artists singing full songs, and they were good. They had music videos, they had a CD, a tape, a record, or something like that.
Music videos telling a story.
Yeah.
A lot of them back then, there was a story to it. You could follow, you could watch it, and you'd be like, okay, like Love is a Battlefield or Pat Benatar. That's a whole story. If you're watching the video, her getting thrown out of her parents' house and all of that, almost any of Michael Jackson's, a lot of his are full stories.
Oh, it's like a little mini movie. It's like 20, some of 30 them are, minutes long.
Or like
I'm bad.
Yeah, I'm bad.
When he was in school and he went home for the weekend or the winter or something like that.
Yeah, if you watch the whole thing, because half of it's just dialogue. It's not even a music video until halfway through it. Mano Moondust, Beanie Babies are not coming back. I'm sorry.
You don't think so?
No. Beanie Babies never went away. They're just not popular anymore.
Yeah.
Because Ty is still around and they still make them. And Robert wants Judge Dredd Part 2. And Frankie No Nose has joined us.
No Nose.
Hank has a 13-year-old daughter, and she'd rather listen to Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Blink-182, etc. Yeah, and it's not bad choices.
Yeah.
Sure. 80s and 90 music videos were awesome. I agree. Yeah, but that's died, and then the music channels don't even do it anymore.
Yeah, because MTV, VH1, what was it? Even BET used to have music videos.
Mm-hmm.
They don't show none of that anymore. MTV is all reality shows. I don't know what if VH1 is even still on.
And Exotic mentioned November Rain. Yeah,
that
tells a story.
Yeah, I like that one. Which was the music video, and the whole thing was done in reverse. It was played backwards. The music video. I don't know. It wasn't November Rain. It was about a wedding. The girl got married, and it was in a car accident, and it was raining. But the whole thing was done backwards.
I don't remember. I know Weird Al did one where he filmed it in reverse so that he could be shown going backwards without using CGI or anything like that. That was his Amish Paradise video. He was walking and talking backwards so that he could do the video the way he wanted.
Oh, who is that? Meyer something?
I don't know. Meyer, yeah. Hey, you too. Love your channel. Thank you. Thanks for joining us this evening or this afternoon. I don't know where you are. It's this afternoon where we are. Janie Got a Gun by Aerosmith was a good video. Take on Me.
That's what it is. Today is One Hit Wonder Day.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. That's what it said on Bing.
There's always a day for something. Give me a break.
Today is One Hit Wonder Day. So you had and it gave you a list of songs, and Aha was on there. Take on Me.
He hits that one note where he's trying to climb the chain link fence and slips and lands like this. But I don't care for that song, but the video was good.
That's a good song.
I don't like that song.
I like One Hit Wonders. I usually look that up on YouTube and get a playlist of One Hit Wonders, because some of those songs are really good, and they define that decade when it came out. Sometimes, most of the times, especially in the 80s.
Even We're Not Gonna Take It Anymore. Yeah. We're Not Gonna Take It.
Yeah.
Is a complete story if you watch the whole thing. And they got the guy from Animal House to completely reenact his role, because he copies what he said to the recruits in Animal House word for word as the dad in that video. You're worthless and weak and all of that whole speech, which is nice. Here's another bit of trivia.
Okay.
What was I? Where am I here? Oh, I'm sorry. Came Union, since the topic of Funko comes up, did it? A friend of mine who manages a GameStop showed me the back room where unsold Dusty Pops literally stacked to the ceiling. David was right. Yeah, they don't sell anymore.
Yeah,
they don't sell anymore. We knew somebody who owned a pop store, and he said his basement's full of them. He can't get rid of them anymore. They just want whatever's the newest, or chases, or pre-2015 pops. Otherwise, they just pile up. It's getting bad.
Yeah, they just let that go.
Ice Ice Baby.
$1 a piece.
I remember Vanilla Ice Baby. But here's the question: which one-hit wonder do you think had the biggest impact? Your biggest one-hit wonder, in your opinion? I'll tell you what mine is.
Mickey. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine.
You know, in that video, she hired real cheerleaders to be able to do that.
I don't know.
She did.
No, I mean, I don't know what one-hit wonder had.
A one-hit wonder that had the biggest impact. In your opinion, the biggest granddaddy of them all, one-hit wonders from 70s or 80s. From the 70s or 80s.
Let's see. One-hit wonder, Harvey Danger. What's that?
Flagpole Sitta was a great song.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Seeing backers for the HasLab Ghost Rider are starting to back out. Wow. How you back out of the funding? Don't you have to pay a down payment?
What they were doing? No. With HasLab, you do not. And I'll tell you what happened. They didn't get, I'm going to take a guess here because I haven't checked. I'm going to guess that they did not get the early bird bonus in. Because remember, there was an early bird bonus figure? Yeah. I bet you it didn't hit the early bird bonus. And now everybody's like, screw it. And now they're backing out. And because they're backing out, it probably isn't going to make their tier. I bet you. But that's probably why.
They should have just did the Ghost Rider on the bicycle. I mean, on the motorcycle.
On a bicycle, yeah. I
want they do.
A little tricycle, big wheel. I want to see Ghost Rider on a big wheel.
I love that song by Level 42, Something About You. That's a really good song.
Yeah. First video on MTV, Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. Yeah, and they were right. They were right, because that did ruin it. Did you check out The Fixer? I find my movies from that site.
I tried, and I went to download it, and it won't download. So I don't know if I went to the wrong channel. I mean, wrong channel, to the wrong website or what. But yeah, I did try to download it last week, and it wouldn't download. So I said I was going to ask you, but I didn't know if you wanted me to actually hear. But yeah, send the link to David Facebook so I can download it.
Yeah, or if you're on our Facebook group Open by Chance, or Instagram Open by Chance, and we got some guesses here. Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper.
That wasn't Cyndi Lauper's not a one-hit wonder, though.
No, she's not a one-hit wonder.
But I mean, that's a good song.
That's probably her best song.
Yeah,
actually, in my opinion, when she's not screaming, and she's actually singing, she's not bad.
True Colors is a good song, but Time After Time, I think, is her best vocals.
Eric Carmen, All by Myself, 99, Loved Balloons. Oh, you should be hung for that. I hate that song. In English or German. Seasons in the Sun, Money for Nothing.
I like Money for
That's not a one-hit wonder, though. Dire Straits was out there. Benny Madrone's Into the Night. Okay.
Oh, that's creepy. You remember
the night?
Yeah, when he went to that, he like 50 years old, going to that 14-year-old girl house and riding on that magic carpet.
That where you're just 16 years old. If you see the video,
that video is creepy.
It adds a whole new layer of creepiness to it. If you watch the video, see like 57-year-old mullet guy in the window of this like teeny bopper, don't even have her training bra on yet, talking about, they said leave her alone, staring in the window. It's like, dude, oh my God.
He's all on the phone, and they're on a magic carpet together, flying around the city.
It's really cringy.
It's very creepy. It's real pedophile-ish. And you're like, oh my God. Because when you just hear the song, it's like, okay, that's a cool song.
Yeah.
Then you see the music video, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I should watch this.
Yeah. Sir Mix-a-Lot, Big Butts, Frankie says. Okay.
Bop,
Bop, yeah. Yes, I'm a Barbie girl. Hank says they'll find Funko Pops buried in a dump like they did with the ET video games. Atari denied that for decades until they dug it up, but they did do that. Eric B. and Rakim, I Ain't No Joke.
Yeah, they weren't that one hit. Well, they weren't like mainstream, so I guess they would count.
Robert says nothing to download, it just pops up with a search button. And you type in the movie.
Okay. I thought it was like that other app where you download. Okay, then I did find it. I was looking for something to download. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, Robert says nothing. Oh, I just read that. Nick Kershaw, Wouldn't It Be Good?
I don't know that song.
William Shatner, Fever. No, you got to hear William Shatner sing Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
That was awful. It's painful to watch.
Or what's the other one? Major Tom, Ground Control. Did he do that one?
I don't know if he did that.
He did one of those.
Don't Worry, Be Happy. I like that song.
Don't Worry, Be Happy. Poor Benny made a career off singing that one. Let me see. Pedro in the Window. Tainted Love by Soft Cell. Okay, that's not bad. Here's my pick. The Fixer has a search button. Just type in the movie you want. Okay. Is Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny, don't you change
Jenny.
Who can I turn
to? Yeah, 8675309. And the reason that's my choice is not only is it a really hot one-hit wonder song, but it had the biggest impact of any song that I can think of, because they could not use that phone number for decades as a result of it. People with that number were getting so many calls that they had all the phone companies, because remember, there used to be more than one phone company, Genuine Bell and Pacific Bell and whoever was out there, had to cancel those phone numbers. And they only just within the last 10 years started reissuing them again. And when they did, they auctioned them off by zip code. People were paying
area code.
Or yeah, by area code. People were paying upwards of $10,000 for the privilege of winning that phone number at auction. So it had the biggest impact of any one-hit wonder I can think of.
Jesse's Girl is good. Funky Town.
Jesse's Girl pisses me off.
Why?
What some kind of friend you are. You wish you had Jesse's Girl. Why don't you leave Jesse alone and let them? Oh, he feels sick whenever he sees them cuddling up and stuff like that. He's singing about basically how terribly jealous he is. It's like, you bastard. Funky Town. Yeah, that's a good one.
Drive by the Cars. David hates the Cars.
I don't hate the Cars. They're overdone though. They are. But they had a lot of stuff. It's like Huey Lewis and the News. They were out there, and people forget how many hits they had. They weren't a one-hit wonder though.
No, they weren't.
The Cars were out there, but they overplay them now. Yeah, I wish I had Jesse's Girl. Yo, you ain't gonna get her. You know, when I first heard that song, I thought they were talking about Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, Daisy.
Yeah, because that's Jesse's Girl. It's her niece, his niece. Baby Got Back. Yeah,
she's a Brick House.
I remember Brick House. But no, you can't have Jesse's Girl. You need some friend that you turned out to be sitting there trying to interfere with
run interference.
Yeah, run interference on that. What's wrong with these people?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, think about the lyrics to some of these songs. Some people don't really listen to the lyrics, and when you do, you're like, wait a minute, what the hell are you talking about?
If you actually listen to the lyrics of some songs, you'll be surprised at what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because, so half of the time you just got the radio on and you just listen, humming along, but you don't actually listen to what they're saying.
Yeah, and then when you do hear the lyrics, you're like, wait a minute. What the hell?
Somebody
number one Marvel fan
said,
what did I miss?
A lot.
A lot. You missed an hour and 36 minutes. But
yeah.
Sexual healing. Yeah, okay.
That wasn't a one-hit wonder.
We were talking about one-hit wonders just now, but yeah, we've run over a bunch of subjects in the last hour and a half. But we are, the video will be saved.
Yes.
So if you wanted to go back and take a look, by all means, please do. It will be there.
What comic books do you want to pick up this month in October?
You know what? Before we get to that,
okay.
Somebody asked a question and I totally missed it because it just popped back into my head.
Okay.
It came to my remembrance, if that is a word. They wanted to know what shows were coming up.
Oh, yeah. Somebody asked that.
Yeah, what shows were coming up.
Yeah. So we have on Saturday coming up, October 1st, we have the Retro Toy Swap in Powder Springs. That's coming up. And that's on a Saturday.
From like 10 to 3, I think.
Yeah. Then the following Sunday is the Atlanta Comic Convention.
On a Sunday.
And that's on a Sunday. And we're going to both.
Yes.
And that's all we got, unless somebody tell us. Because sometimes people will say, hey, did you hear about this? And we'll check it out. But we check out the distance.
As long as it's not too far.
Yeah.
We'll go. And of course, we always film. And somebody had made a comment on one of the videos about that you have to ask people before you can film them. Actually, typically you do not. However, if it's true, you don't. But if we do catch somebody, we try not to look at anybody's face specifically. Catch somebody and you don't see it because we will have cut it out. They're like, oh, I don't want to be on film. We'll splice that out for them. It's like, okay, no problem. And we splice it out for them. Otherwise, people don't seem to really care.
Yeah. And I try not to get their face. And I tell them, hey, I'm not going to film your face. And they're like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah. A lot of people don't care. Like the one guy in the last time that we were at he was eating breakfast and she was like, oh, I don't want to film you eating breakfast. He's like, I don't care.
Some people want to be on the video.
They do want to be on the video because then they'll be seen on our video, and in their eyes, it's publicity.
Yeah, which is fine. We don't care. Take the video and do whatever.
Johnny thinks I have a great memory, and Kaiser says "WAP" by Cardi B. We're not going to talk about that song, okay?
I don't know what that is.
You don't want to know what that stands for. WAP is something nasty.
Oh, is it?
And Moondust wants to know if I own any early editions of Mad Magazine. Yes, I do. And as a matter of fact, Johnny Future sent me a bunch of them. Johnny Future, who's on here right now, sent me a bunch.
He collects Mad Magazine.
Gave me a bunch of Mad Crack magazines. I actually got them stacked over there. But I think those Mad issues are 124, he says. Yes, sir. Okay. But yeah, he gave me a bunch of those. But I do collect the vintage Mad magazines back when they did actually make a magazine, because that's something that's going away. Talking about fading nostalgia.
Yeah, Robert asks again if we're going to be doing reviews. We thought about it because when you do a review, don't you got to read the whole book, like the whole series?
I don't know.
Or you do a review on one book? Because I saw a review recently and the guy just talked about that one issue or episode, however you call it. He read one book and then talked about that one book, which is fine. About it, and then we threw it around in the air and it's still up there.
Hank wants to know if I ever saw Dallas Vintage Toys website for Missing Joe accessories or parts. No, I didn't. I forgot about that.
We talked about Dallas a little bit ago, because we were talking about graded toys, and that's the ones that do all of the graded toys.
Yeah.
But David don't buy us accessories because he get mad.
Exotic says he has hundreds of Mad and Crack magazines.
Oh, good.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
And Marvel fan wants to know if what's your best or favorite graded comic that you own. The ones, because I do cleaning and pressing, so the ones that I've had the biggest miracle turnaround with, which I've done a couple of CGC unboxings. Yeah, Mr. Miracle, Mr. Clean. I had the Thor 337, which was the first Beta Ray Bill, came back in 9.8, and I had the New Mutants 97, first appearance of Deadpool, that came back that 9.6, but those books were in terrible shape, and especially the Deadpool had like a cat scratch.
Oh God!
I remember, but it didn't break. It didn't color break, but it was like 4 right across in a curve and swiped off. Like a swipe. And maybe it was in a bag or something and didn't penetrate. But you're talking about what? I couldn't even imagine how low the grade would be with that kind of damage, and especially since it went through like the first 5 pages, they were all dented like that, but it didn't color break, and it had some rolling and some other issues. And I pressed that sucker like 5 times, working on it, and it looked really good when I was done, and it came back a 9.6, and I was like, wow. So stuff like that I've had like really, really excellent grading, without any expectations. Like, I don't know how this is going to come back, or that Beta Ray wasn't a really high grade either. It was probably like an 8 or something, and it came back a 9.8 after I cleaned it up. And then other stuff that have some kind of significance. Like, can you grab that one that's sitting just right on top there? This is one I just got recently, just the first one.
Oh
yeah, just that, which is not a big deal. That
take it out of the bag.
Yeah, because the bag looks like hell.
You get a glare.
Yeah. Which is just the late 80s Green Arrow.
Still got a bad
number 1. You got to turn it all out. Green Arrow number 1 from the 80s. And it's a good cover. It's not a valuable book. Even at a 9.8, it's not worth a lot. But
look at that Freshetta, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah. Give it back.
Oh.
You're gonna run away with it. It says Mike Grell actually is the artist. Mike Grell drew this, but this is the book that got me back into comic collecting. I used to take one of the jobs that I had. I used to do trash collection for a church in Alston, and the first 3 issues of this were laying on top of a barrel. when I was taking the trash out, and I was like, oh, I'll take them. And I took them home and I read them, and it's actually pretty dark. This is like a Vertigo title, and I liked it, and it got me back into comic collecting back in the late 80s.
Yeah.
And so there's some significance to that. I'll just set that over there.
Let's see. Exotic Cars got 100 Mad and Crack magazines. I want about 2 of them, Mad magazines. The one with the 1984 on it, and there's one on the cover. It says, I think the end of the world is near, or something about the end of the world on the cover. I want those.
Robert says I should do a video on more obscure toy lines, which I do. I do the showcases from time to time, and the showcases. Yeah, I haven't done one in a while. But when I do the showcases, well, I did one last month, and it was on the Bad Case of Worms.
Oh
from
yeah,
Mattel.
because you got that whole set.
Who knew what that was? Or like I've done the Chapter Chums back here. I've done showcases of toy lines, and I've gotten comments where people are like, thanks for not showing the sexy stuff, the stuff that everybody has, and showing something different. Or like Gray Gory, the vampire bat from Mattel, that kind of stuff. I show, from time to time, I'll do a showcase on weird stuff, or like I did these, which is the Astronauts, because I have these, and I've got the glider. That's what this is. That's the Astronaut glider, and I did a showcase on that stuff. So yeah, from time to time, I do the showcases with some oddball pieces that you don't normally see. Let me see. People talking about a hurricane.
Just started watching it a few months ago. Okay. Do you collect Legends? If so, you're getting the
Hell Charger.
The
Hell Charger. No, I'm not going to get the Hell Charger. I don't collect Legends per se, but I do collect the Build-A-Figures. So no, I don't have a lot of Legends, but I do have a bunch of Build-A-Figures, and I had ordered the Galactus, the HasLab Galactus, but no, I'm not going to get the Hell Charger. I didn't get the His Tank either.
Are you going to get some Marvel Legends to go with your Galactus? Just not 2 or 3.
I don't know. Well, he comes with some figures anyways, but I had contemplated getting the Mezco Fantastic Four to go with it. But I mean, that's another, what, $300? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Robert wants to see a sequel of Night of the Creeps, so he can find out what happened. Hank says, how about the new Mermaid movie? People are coming to blows as of late. Well, it's kind of set up for that. Just real quickly, the problem I have with all of that is why Disney does it, not that it's been done. And I think a lot of people, they don't express properly why that sort of thing upsets them. It's why Disney does it. Disney isn't doing it because they really care, or because that was just the right actress for the job. They're doing it to pretend to be diverse, number one, and number two, to create controversy. Because they'll take, you could have 100,000 comments, and there'll be 20 nasty ones, and they will cherry pick out those 20 nasty ones, put it on blast, and looking for victimhood, sympathy. They'll attack their own fan base with it. So the fans are like, oh, no, we're not racist. We promise, and come crawling to Disney to try to prove that they're good people. Disney does it on purpose, because when it comes to media and Hollywood, that sort of thing, negative attention is just as valuable as positive attention. And if you've got a project you don't think you can get that much positive attention from, what's the alternative? Negative attention that will draw people in. They did it with Obi-Wan. They did a spectacular job of getting people at each other's throats with Obi-Wan. And they're doing it with Little Mermaid too.
And they're doing it with She-Hulk.
Yeah, they're doing it with She-Hulk.
Yeah, the best thing to do is just not comment. Don't watch it.
Yeah,
you
don't watch it.
You don't have to say how horrible it is.
Yeah, we already know.
Yeah, say how horrible it is by not watching it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people, I don't know if people realize it. action speaks louder than words. That's always been the little phrase.
Talk with your wallet.
Talk with your wallet and talk with your viewership. Disney and Marvel and DC and Hollywood music stars, they could care less that you get on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and make all kind of videos, say all kind of comments about what they're doing, because you watched it, you're saying something, you making somebody else curious enough to go see what you're talking about, because, oh, I never heard of that, so let me go see. So now you're getting views, you're getting the limelight, you know. But if you don't say, you say, oh, okay, they got a new mermaid coming out, and I don't like that actor, I don't like how she look, I don't like this, I don't like that, I'm not gonna watch it. Don't say nothing, don't go on Twitter, don't go on Facebook, just don't watch it, don't say a word.
And they make the, oh, I don't understand. I mean, you know, She-Hulk twerked, and you know, she had done that in the comic. Well, no, she didn't. She had jump roped nude. You could not see what she was doing. You couldn't see that. You know, you could tell she was supposed to be nude. It alluded to it. That's the second series She-Hulk. What people wanted was first series She-Hulk, where she was serious. Second series She-Hulk was a parody. It was like reading Howard the Duck. And it wasn't that popular, first of all. You know, I got through like the first issue when it came out, and I was like, I'm not going to read this trash. But the series made fun of that concept. This show is not making fun of that concept. It's embracing those concepts. So they know what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose.
And then the YouTube view of creators are just as bad, because they're like, oh, that's the new big thing, let me go make a video and ride the coattails. That's what they did with Masters of the Universe from Netflix. You had people, you look at their channel previous videos, they never talked about anything cartoon or nostalgia or anything like that, but they talked about that, got thousands of views. So now people came to their channel and maybe watched 2-3 other things and subscribed. And that's what you do. You ride the coattails of this. It's like, oh, this is the new thing everybody's on, so let me jump on so I can get some views and some subscribers. And that's how it goes.
And the YouTube influencers, they eat that stuff up. So
because I watched this one girl, she make a video about every She-Hulk thing come out and how she's a female fan that loves She-Hulk and all of this. Then in the last video, female fan. Okay, if you so don't care about females, why did you have to put that in your title to make people say, oh, a female got something to say? They can see your face on a thumbnail and see that you're a woman talking about She-Hulk. You don't have to put it in the description. I mean, in the title. You see what I'm saying? You just using that as a buzzword to get a clickbait.
Marvel fan says fan baiting. Basically. Basically, that's what that is. He also said that he has the Build-A-Figures. He also got the Galactus.
Okay. You're gonna get some. Well, you already collect Marvel Legends, so you could do a little diorama.
And Master says just get the Heralds. And Hank wants to know if McFarlane Toys does the '89 Batmobile. Are you going to get one?
I gotta look at it.
Yeah, she'd have to see it.
Yeah, and what size is that gonna be?
Like I don't know.
6 scale?
Roughly, yeah. Okay. And then who is that?
And if it's 6 scale, Hot Toys made the 6 scale Batmobile, and that thing was like $500-$600, $1,000.
So and Master wants to know where the Mezco Ghost Rider at. Oh, it's hanging out with the '89 Batman, because that's also like seriously delayed. Because I ordered the '89 Batman. I don't know what the hell.
That's right.
I don't know what the hell happened to that.
It's out there. It's in the warehouse, getting tooling. That's what they like to tell you in the emails. Tooling
my ass. Master says he still watches the '80s Hulk cartoon, and that he liked the She-Hulk from that series. Johnny says hit him where it hurts.
Yeah.
And that's your wallet. Yeah. Boba Fett, and Robert's talking about the ones that he saw, is curious about. Moon Knight, saw Boba Fett, Mando. Yeah, we don't have Disney Plus anyways. Well, you know why too. It says Robert says the She-Hulk looks dumb. Good thing. Well, if you're talking about the animation, they knew it wasn't going to fly, so they didn't really put very much into the animation budget. That's why the CGI looks so wonky on that show. So they went under on the budget anyways.
If they knew it wasn't going to fly, why put time and effort and money into it?
Because because they knew that they were going to go in the negative attention direction from the outset.
Lee is saying something.
Lee wants to know if I'll be getting the Hasbro Dungeons and Dragons figures. Well, we were never really big fans of it in the first place.
We watched a few episodes on the cartoon, and I just really couldn't get into it. It didn't make sense. They didn't explain who the characters were and why they were there. They didn't give enough backstory to the characters, and then their whole mission is to get out of where they are. They had 2 opportunities to leave, and they didn't. And it's like, why didn't you leave? Your whole mission is to go back home, and you had 2 opportunities, and you didn't.
More than 2.
Well, the ones we saw,
it's like every other episode they had a chance to leave.
But they definitely had 2 opportunities, and then they didn't do it. And then they didn't tell you who these characters are. I still never figured out what their names are. Then they had some powers. They were all distributed powers.
Yeah.
Where did they come from? Were they friends at the beginning? I mean, you had a little bit of something in the intro, but not enough to say who these people are. And so I just couldn't get into it, so we stopped watching it. But now the figures do look interesting, but not interesting enough to say, oh yeah, like Defenders of the Earth, we watched that, and I really got into that. I like that show.
Yeah.
So because I like the show, I'll buy the toys and the comic book because I could get into the show. I understood what they were doing, who they were, what their abilities were, and but Dungeons and Dragons just didn't do none of that.
No, it did. It got canceled early too. I don't think it got but like 13 episodes.
Yeah, we probably watched 5.
Frodo wants to know if you got the Jazz Inc. 66 Batmobile.
I don't know what Jazz Inc. is, so no. I never heard of Jazz Inc. So no.
Johnny's been watching 40s and 60s Looney Tunes.
Oh, okay.
And they don't fly today. Yeah, they don't fly today. They were never written for kids in the first place. Those were movie shorts, and they were adapted for television as filler for Saturday morning cartoon stuff.
Yeah.
But at the time that they were used as filler, the people who put it on figured that any adult themed humor in there would just fly over the kids' heads anyways, which was true.
Yeah.
You didn't get it. You didn't know what they were talking about. But people are too easily offended though. Because I've got that stuff on disc, and it's pretty fun. Droopy too. There's a couple of there's only 20 shorts of Droopy, honestly. And I've got it all on one disc. And there's a couple of them you'll never see again. You will never see again. The one where they're the Boy Scouts, you'll never see that in your life. But they are funny though. Moondust says oversaturated with unnecessary characters.
What was?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, any Remco monsters on it?
I don't have any
Dracula
Remco.
War. Okay.
War Evil. Yeah, I don't have any Remco figures outside of the McDonald's set. I used to have some of the Remco ones, like they did the Warlord and stuff like that back in the day. I don't have that anymore. It's probably stupid expensive now.
Hey, want to know if we saw the new Batman? You mean the 2022?
Yeah.
We on this channel, but I loved it. I thought it was one of the best. I like the because I have seen that guy act. Wasn't it Robert Pattinson or whatever his name is? I have seen him act before, not in Twilight, in some other things. One movie called The Lighthouse, and I think I saw him in something else. And so I knew from just past experience and also from Twilight, even though I didn't see it, that he plays that depressing role. So when I heard he was cast for Batman, I thought, okay, well, he probably would do good because he has that he plays in that depressing role.
Yeah, so instead of because there's two versions of Batman. You got the millionaire playboy Batman, which is an act that he puts on. But then when he switches, when he turns that off and he acts his normal self, he's miserable.
Yeah.
He's not a happy person.
And that guy did a really good job of portraying that, showing you the depressed, kind of miserable Bruce Wayne. And then I also like, he was more violent than all the other Batmans, I think.
Yeah, he was brutal.
Yeah, and it was a couple of times that I thought he was going to cross that killing line.
Yeah, he's almost like the Netflix Daredevil.
Yeah,
because Netflix Daredevil could be really brutal.
Yeah, really brutal, but he come close. He told that killing line, but don't. I like that they brought back the detective Batman instead of whatever he was doing before, because he was a detective. So they brought back the detective aspect of Batman. I like that. I like that the villains were kind of normal. They weren't your Gotham City villains. You know what I mean? Like Penguin looked normal, even though he wasn't, I don't think he was fully Penguin yet. He was still like regular, like normal. And but I liked the movie. I thought it was good. A lot of people don't like it, but I thought it was excellent. I thought it was well written. The dialogue was good. It wasn't a lot of foul language. The guy acted well. I can't wait to see him in the second one. He already signed up for the second one. I hope they don't go crazy with it and go all sideways.
Yeah. Because you let them play with it for too long and they'll get weird.
Yeah, they'll go sideways on you in a minute. And I'm kind of nervous about the next Joker because they keep on wanting to say that it's going to be a musical. And I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that sounds fishy. And it would suck because that was a really well done film.
Yeah, that was an excellent film. I love that film. And to get music, I mean, and then I read something and they were trying to explain what the musical part mean. And they were saying because in the movie they had like music in the background and he was dancing.
Like Car Wash, because Car Wash is technically a musical, but no one sings in it.
Yeah, now if it's just like music playing and he's dancing a couple of times, because he did dance a few times. And in the article I read, they were saying, there is going to be a little more of that. Hopefully it don't go too far. So I don't know. I'll just wait and see.
Yeah, Robert wants you to know it was Hank, Bobby, Sheila, Eric, Diana, and Presto, and they did eventually make it home.
Oh, okay, but I'm not gonna watch to see how they got there because they got on my nerves. All that they had going on.
And Kay Munin says that Obi-Wan series had a few good moments, but the new Andor series does not interest them. Too much Star Wars in too short a time. Yeah, it's oversaturated. It's too much. Disney keeps cranking it out. Here's a show. Here's a show.
Yeah.
And we're in this new era where a season is like 8 episodes instead of like when we grew up and it was like 24, 36 episodes for a season.
Yeah, but I mean, is it worth it? Okay, you only got, let's say 8 to 13 episodes. Is it worth it if it's now and then is a good episode? Out of the 8, you might have 8 episodes, you got 3 good ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. That doesn't seem worth it to me.
Daredevil's supposed to be in She-Hulk. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be real interesting.
And trying to say that episode is going to draw people in, but I mean,
it will, but will they stay
for the one episode?
It ain't worth it.
Not the whole series, and are they going to go back and watch what they've missed?
Yeah, Johnny, I have seen those black and white. I know what you're talking about, the old silent cartoons from way back in the day. I have seen a bunch of those.
I was watching a guy, he collects Disney comic books, and he was going on about how some of the Disney comic books, especially the Mickey Mouse ones, they can't even be shown because they have some derogatory words in there. So and they're highly collectible because of that.
Yeah, and that's that was reprinted in the early 90s under the title Uncensored Mouse because the copyright on those ran out and Disney missed it, and the publisher got their hands on it, and they got as far as 2 issues before Disney came up with a number to buy it back and get them to stop. And it was some pretty racy stuff that Mickey and Minnie used to get into in that series.
They used to use some racial slurs and all of that,
and like Mickey chasing people with shotguns and all kinds of crazy stuff in there. I read it myself. It was a while though.
Yeah,
a while.
And the guy, he was explaining, because he's a big comic book collector, so he shows his stuff and he talks about it. And he said that he read it, and if you read it, it's not as bad as what it sounds like it could be, you know. So but you know, if you're into that, it might be interesting to try and look it up, but it's gonna be costly.
Yeah, and no moon dust. I love me some Sid and Marty Krofft. I think that stuff's hilarious, but I have never used any narcotics, and I have not drank. Her either. Neither of us drink alcohol.
No, or use narcotics.
Nothing like that. That's not for us.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hank says if the new Joker's a musical, it'll fail at the box office. Yeah, I bet it will.
Yeah, it says if Lady Gaga will be Harley Quinn, then she would sing Joker Face. I mean, she's supposed to be in there. I've seen her act. I saw the one movie she was in with that guy.
A Star is Born.
Yeah.
Which is the 3rd rendition. That film every couple of decades they redo that movie. The last one was in the 70s with Barbra Streisand, and there was another one before that. I think it had Judy Garland
in it. I mean, she wasn't bad in the movie. No. I think she probably would do fine as Harley Quinn if they tone Harley Quinn down.
I like the original version. If it's not the animated Batman Harley Quinn, I don't like it.
Well, so, if they mix him up with this Joker, as dark and psychotic as he is, if they make her match that, I think it would be fine. But do I want to hear her sing every scene? No. That was fine for A Star is Born, because that's what that movie was about. She was a singer. She trying to get herself together and all of this and that there. Fine. I don't need to watch her sing her way through the Batman movie and take away from the Joker movie, and take all attention away from Joker, because then it's going to be like, okay, I don't want to see that. I'm not buying it.
Easel Monkey says he can't wait to see that comic unboxing. Yeah, we're going to get to it. I mean, we'll film it when we flip through there.
Yeah.
We just figure out how to do it.
Yeah, because it's 3 long boxes.
3 long boxes.
I don't think we can do that like we did the records.
No, you can't hold them up one at a time. But there's probably like 700 books in there.
Probably. We'll see.
And he says, we talked about that a little earlier. HasLab Ghost Rider is losing backers. Oh, that's because, and like I said, I didn't look, but I'm guessing that it did not hit the bonus tier. The bonus figure, or the secret tier where you get the extra figure if they hit 9,000 within the first week or the first 5 days. I forget how it goes. So people jumped on there waiting to see if that tier was going to click and then ride it out. And when that time period closed and that figure's gone now, they were like, screw it, and they backed out. So that project is gonna hurt.
What is Moon Dust talking about? Some Phantom in the Park?
Oh, Phantom of the Park. That's Kiss's movie.
Oh, Kiss made a movie.
Yeah, Kiss had a movie. It was on ABC in the 70s, and it was produced by Hanna-Barbera.
You told me about that. Isn't that when they took their blood and had the blood?
No, that's the comic book. They donated a pint of blood each for the production of the Kiss comic for Marvel's around the same time period. And they actually have pictures of them. And I don't know how they got a pint out of any of them, because they look like they weigh about 70 pounds each. But they when they're sitting there in the doctor's chair with the thing, they look pathetic. They look so thin.
Hey, Link, how you doing?
Hey, thanks for joining us, Link. But that's why the show plays out. You know, they're in an amusement park and the guy's got evil robots and all that other stuff. Standard Hanna-Barbera stuff you could have picked up from any Scooby-Doo cartoon. But they had a really hard time filming that because those guys were so wasted all the time. I saw a thing on it. I know they said that they didn't do drugs or whatever. I don't know if they were drunk or what their problem was, but they'd show up like 4 or 5 hours late, looking exhausted and drunk and whatever, and not having rehearsed the lines at all. And so literally they had to call out a line for them to say for each and every sentence. So they'd be like,
oh my God, you never get through.
It took them forever to get through the production. And so, you know, they'd be like, Ace, say this. And then he'd read the sentence, and then Ace would say it while they filmed. Okay, next. And then have the next person, you say this, and they'd read it to him, and then he'd repeat what he heard. It was a nightmare to get through that, from what I understand.
Oh, wow. Let me see. Robert said, oh, yeah. Let's see. Can't wait. Okay. I tried all the live action Batman shows. I was surprised about the 30s Batman calling bad guy Japs, but that was wartime. I can imagine what Captain America was like in the 40s.
This too, and they're serious TV shows. Obviously, they were movie serials, and back in the old days when you went to the movie, it was an all-day event. You might see more than one film. There might be like 3 films, and in between they would have shorts. So it was like watching television. They'd have a couple of newsreels, a couple of advertisements, a couple of episodes, if you will, of the Three Stooges, Batman, Flash Gordon, whatever. And it was in parts. So if you went to the movies this week and you saw part 1 of Batman last week, you'd see part 2 this week. And they would do it like that to get people to keep coming back. And yeah, there's some he says some pretty, especially during the Japanese era, because there's 2 sets of serials with 2 different actors playing Batman. And I remember specifically one of them, he was because the main villain is a Japanese character, and he says something to akin to, yeah, the one dirty Jap that didn't end up in the internment camps, and I got to find him. And I'm like, wow, you couldn't say that kind of stuff nowadays.
Nope. That'll never play on
nobody. Yeah, that's just TV. Part of the propaganda, you know, of the time period.
Let's see, Madonna as Harley Quinn.
No. Oh no, please, Madonna,
she's too
nowhere.
old anyway, and she too. I was gonna say she too raunchy.
But, overrated.
Yeah,
is
but
what
she's
Madonna
too
is.
old. At least Lady Gaga fits the age category. Madonna's too old, and nobody wants to see her shrivel up self on the TV.
Hank wants to know if distribution issues from Hasbro. Do you think it'll kill the fever? Well, it kind of started to die off anyways, the classifieds, when Super 7 started doing the Sunbow accurate G.I. Joe figures with a raw Sunbow cartoon accurate, not the retro, because the reaction figures, you know, take it or leave it. The card art's better than the figures. The figures are terrible.
Well, the figures look like the original.
Well, they're supposed to look like, I mean, they're supposed to look like this. You know, they're supposed to look like Adventure People or the Star Wars figures, 5 points articulations figures. But they don't have to be $18, $20 a piece. That's too much. Even Hasbro, their retro Legends figures that are also done in this format look way better, and they're like $12 at Walmart. Good card art, you know, basic looking 5 points figure, and then they're charging like $5, $6 more for it, and it's like, come on, Super 7, what the hell? But their Ultimates figures look better. I think that hit the button for a lot of people when they saw that they were doing Sunbow accurate. Plus the inability to find a lot of them. That's why I stopped with classifieds. I said, I'm not getting any more. I'm done. When I could never find them at Target. I could never get the Cobra Island stuff. It pissed me off. There's Reston.
I think people are quiet quitting.
Thank you for joining us, Reston.
Your thing is
while we
unstable to
reconnect. Are we
reconnect.
still here?
I think so.
Because
LPH hit the nail on the head. What is the point of watching any program if more than half the show is boring?
Yeah. And that's our argument with it. Stone Sour made it. Thanks for joining us, Stone Sour. That was my argument with it, with the all of the shows where they talk about, oh yeah, I liked say Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Or I liked Book of Boba Fett. But then when you ask them about it, they're like, I like this episode, not this one. I like this episode, not this one. You know, when you boil it down, if you didn't like half of it, you were done a disservice.
Hey, Kay, let's see. Shortly after we got the Star Wars.
Oh yeah, they're still talking about that Kiss Phantom of the Park. The Star Wars special it's so bad it's good. It's one of those things that belongs on riff tracks.
Forgot the YouTube, but that went away.
But that's Easel Monkey.
The upcoming Marvel Legend wave, where getting No Way Home wave with the 3 Spider-Man unmasked. Oh, okay, well, more Spider-Man.
Yeah, more Legend.
Yeah.
Moondust talking about Brady Bunch Comedy Hour with Fake Jan. Oh, they had the variety show.
Oh,
also, the Brady Bunch had a live action variety show as the Brady Bunch. You know, interacting with the audience.
Okay.
But what's really underrated is actually a very Brady film. Which was in the 90s. There was a series of 3 films based on the Brady Bunch. It was actually based on the on this Broadway stage production of the Brady Bunch.
They had a Broadway production of the Brady Bunch?
Well, it was designed to make fun of really nostalgic moments from the show.
Okay.
Things that you just really remember, like Jan getting hit in the face with and it made her nose swell up, stuff like that. And they made a movie based on that play. It is hilarious.
I've seen it.
Especially if you've seen the original show and you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
Those movies are really funny.
I used to watch the show. I've probably seen every episode. If not, it's probably about 10 I didn't see. And I did see the movie, and they brought all of those back where she got kicked in the face and all of that, and the girl trying to run away. On Wednesday, the Monster comes out on Netflix.
The Monsters is coming out on Netflix. But yeah, the fact that it's going direct to streaming service tells you everything you need to know about how that came out. But they rushed it though, and they didn't need to. They delayed it and then they rushed it.
I never thought about that, Robert. He says, I guess that's why they turned Ming green. I hated that Ming is Asian. Well, Ming is not from Earth. He's an
alien.
He's an alien. In the cartoon from the 70s,
they assume he's Asian. That's a modern
name of Ming.
That's because that's why it comes with a warning in England now. Like the United Kingdom, warning, there's Asian stereotypes, and it's like, no, there isn't. He's not even from Earth.
No, he's from
he's from another planet.
I can't remember.
Mongol.
And he in the cartoon, he's not green. In the 70s cartoon, he wasn't green. He was like I don't know. I can't remember the color. It wasn't green, and I do remember thinking that, okay, they changed the color. In the newer ones, Defenders of the Earth, they changed them green, but he wasn't green in the 70s Flash Gordon cartoon.
Yeah, and he was pale though. He didn't look Asian there either. He didn't look Asian there either.
No, he didn't.
But I think Robert mentioned earlier that he didn't care for Defenders of the Earth, but do go back to the 1979 Flash Gordon cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon. Had 23, 24 episodes, something like that.
It was 2 seasons.
Yeah. The first season is brilliant.
Yeah.
The whole season is one story. It's done in a classic 30s serial format where they do an intro and they do a recap and they have a narrator and everything. Great voice work on it. And the animation is spot on. The animation, it looks like rotoscope. I think it was done in rotoscope. And for those of you who don't know, that's when they film actors and then they have a team of artists draw over it, like they did with
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe, because this is also a Filmation production.
Yeah.
Second season was all right, but it wasn't as good.
No,
because they changed the writing style a little.
Yeah, they had another writer.
Yeah, but the original one is if you don't like the Defenders of the Earth, if you go back and you watch 1979 Flash Gordon season 1, I think you'll be surprised at how good they did.
And it's on Tubi, so it's free, so you can watch it on Tubi, and they have the whole thing, and it's actually pretty. It's good.
Kay wanted to know if we're keeping up with Cobra Kai. We have not seen the current season.
No.
We haven't.
We gotta wait till it come out on DVD.
Link thinks we're good guys.
Thank you.
We try. Easel Monkey says, I remember watching George Romero's Night of the Living Dead as a kid. The ending was a bold move, really shocked me.
I didn't like how that ended. I mean, that guy got all the way
to
the end and got killed. Because I understand why he got killed. They thought he was a zombie. But didn't he throw out the white flag or something?
No, he didn't do anything. He was kind of like creeping around looking in the window.
Oh,
he didn't speak or anything.
Something.
I mean, if he had yelled out or something, hey, someone's in here.
Yeah, I'm alive, I'm all right. And then put the white flag out. I think he would have made it. But he got all the way to the end of the movie and got killed. And I was like, oh, come on.
Reston says Ming is German, a la Max von Sydow. Max von Sydow was a good actor.
Oh, yeah.
The Ming in the 1979 Flash Gordon is voiced by the same person who did Skeletor, only he doesn't sound as whiny.
Yeah. The voice acting in that was good too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the voice acting was pretty good.
Oh, they're talking about the Brady, the made-for-TV movie Brady, where Bobby was a race car driver and all this other stuff. Bobby did not age well when I saw him in that. But they did a couple of made-for-TV movies to revisit the Brady Bunch.
We saw the oldest boy in something recently. What was it? He was awful. I can't remember. It wasn't Columbo or something? We saw him in recently.
Who?
The oldest son.
Oh no! You know where you saw the guy who played Greg Brady?
Yeah.
He was in Highway to Heaven.
Yeah, but he was mean and nasty, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was ignoring his kid who was dying of cancer.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was the singer. He was the rock
musician who didn't have time for his kid.
His kid was in the hospital dying of cancer.
Yeah.
And he needed some, the boy wanted him to come around, and he went to camp, and they had parents' night.
Jonathan drops by and he's like, how did you get in here? And he was like, I'm here about your boy. And he says, oh, yeah, how's he doing? Well, he would really like to see you. Yeah, that'd be nice. But, I got this tour date. And
not want to see that boy. Yeah.
Oh, man. Robert says he loved the animated 79 Flash. Okay, you have seen it
already.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Hank says we need to check out Yellowstone and the prequel 1883. I know you'll love it.
Yeah, that's on it is on Peacock. And I think I started watching the first episode and I had to stop and then never got back to it. But it is on Peacock. So it's free, so I can watch it.
And Robert says the Night of the Living Dead remake, the black guy dies early and the female lives. She didn't even get killed.
Yeah,
but what they do in a lot of these movies is the person that deserves it the least is the one who makes it to the end.
Like Cloverfield Lane, the second one.
Yeah, that's right. Cloverfield
the second one.
No, not. Cloverfield. Whatever number Cloverfield Lane. She got everybody in that shelter killed.
Yeah.
And then she's the one that survives.
Yeah.
Come on.
And the guy, he was telling the truth and still went outside.
What was that? The bird bath or what the hell?
Oh God, that bird.
What's the name
box.
of it? Bird box.
That movie was.
She got awful. A bunch of people killed, and then she's got like these two 8-year-old kids running around. She won't even name them.
It's like you stupid
bitch.
And then it's like you 9 months pregnant, going outside on a run to go in during the apocalypse to get food, and then you making demands on somebody else's house. That's pissed me off about that movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to turn it off right then, but I was already started watching it, so I kept going.
Yeah.
But she coming up to somebody else's house needing help and then gonna make demands on them.
And then get everybody in the house killed.
Yeah, and basically. She survives.
And she's a big hero. And people are like, oh, she did such a great job in the
film.
Oh,
great
man,
job.
she deserved to be hung out in the woods.
Yeah, that movie got on my nerves. And I thought it was dumb. The whole premise of the movie was stupid.
Yeah.
So
because you never really know what the hell's going on in the film.
Some what was they couldn't see. You know, they had to close their eyes.
Some creature or something.
Yeah, that was like The Happening, when the wind was blowing and it was killing everybody. You remember the wind?
The
God. Leaves. The leaves in the tree.
Yeah, something like that. That movie was stupid. The trees are killing people.
Yeah.
By making them commit suicide.
Yeah.
Marvel fan says he has the Mattel 70s Flash Gordon cartoon figures, and it was tough to get some of them carded.
Man, I'm trying
Those
to
are
get
nice. That's a nice set.
It costs so much. I'm trying to get it, and I was going to settle on getting the NECA ones.
Because they did do a nice they did do a nice homage to the carded figures with
and I said, well, these are so expensive, I'll get the NECA ones. And then the NECA ones are like $40, and everybody said they were on clearance, and I kept going to Target.
Not at our Targets.
Not find them on clearance, so then I never got it. I don't know, but I do want those figures, so I might try. I don't know. I don't really care anymore.
Johnny says that Stallone's trying to make Rocky into a musical. I don't know why. I hope not. That doesn't work. You remember the show Cop? Remember Cop Rock?
No.
Yeah, that's why.
But I mean,
because it was a musical, like Hill Street Blues, but it was a musical.
But I mean, okay, when you say musical, when I think of a musical, I'm thinking of The King and I, Sound of Music, Fiddler on the Roof, where people are actually singing and dancing.
Yeah.
Okay, do they mean that? Or do they mean we're gonna have a movie and have music playing in the background, like Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which it had music anyways. What did it mean by musical? Because Rocky was a boxing film, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You've seen it.
I've only seen one Rocky.
You have.
I've seen bits and pieces of some, and I get them all mixed up, so I couldn't tell you what I've seen and what I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen a full start to finish Rocky. But I've seen bits, because I've seen pieces of the one with Mr. T. I saw the one with the guy from Russia. I saw when the black guy died, Apollo.
Yeah.
When he got killed. And then
I saw when he was the same one as the Russian.
Okay.
That was Drago.
And I saw when he was running through the town and the kids was chasing him, and he ran up the stairs and was doing all like this. Yeah. So see, I seen bits.
Hopefully not. Moondust said Death Race 2000 young Stallone. Yeah, that's true.
I saw Death Race.
And he gets his ass kicked by David Carradine.
Didn't he get killed?
David Carradine hemmed him up.
Yeah, but Rocky got killed.
I don't remember. An earlier version than that. The earliest that you'll find Stallone with such a small part that he is not even in the credits. Okay. Was what is that guy's name? Woody Allen.
Okay, he was
Woody Allen film Bananas.
Okay.
The film Bananas. And he's on the subway, and Rocky is part of Stallone is part of a street gang that roughs him up on the subway car. They beat him up. But I don't even think he spoke. It was like a real bit part. He wasn't even in the credits.
Robert was saying he never saw Cloverfield. Was it good? It's 3 Cloverfields. The first one was actually okay. You know, you know, everything was just going down. The aliens and everything was coming. The second,
it was all right. If you're into kaiju films, it's okay.
The second one tied in. It was just a different part of the United States, I think, and the guy was in the bunker, and he got some stuff going on, and he rescued this girl, brought her in there to help keep her safe, and she got crazy and got them all killed. And the third one was in space, and they saw everything going on from space. I mean, it's worth looking at. It's not horrible. I'd rather watch that than watch something else. But it's not horrible. I'm not gonna say it's great. It wouldn't be on a top 100 list, but it's not horrible. It was fine,
Hank is talking about the trick or treat buckets. Yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of adults that are gonna want that.
I want one.
I would rather have the originals, but I think that is neat though. It's nice to see that. Yeah, and Cop Rock, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Best musicals are Sound of Music and Grease.
Xanadu.
No.
Jesus Christ Superstar. That had some good music in it, actually.
Was good. That had some really good singing in it. And I like Fiddler on the Roof was good.
Oh, yes, we have seen Creed.
Yeah, we've seen both Creeds. I want to say they're coming out with a third one. Well, we've seen both. The first one was good. The second one felt like they were kind of dwindling off a little bit.
You don't get good musicals anymore. They don't even bother.
I don't even think they make musicals, but they did that one called La La Land. I never saw it.
Yeah.
But do those people actually sing and dance? When you had musicals before, the people
you needed to have talent,
and they actually did the dancing. They actually sang the songs, except for Judy Garland. She didn't sing. She was dubbed. She was.
Yeah. Robert mentions Apollo being wiped out by Dolphin and knocked off by Predator. Who else famous has Carl Weathers been killed by? Who knows? Here's your next trivia question. Carl Weathers.
Oh, wasn't he killed by the Terminator?
Yeah. No.
No, he wasn't.
He was not killed by the Terminator. No. But yeah, who knows who famous movie or television has killed Carl Weathers?
Wasn't he killed by the Avengers? In the Avengers movie?
Carl Weathers wasn't in the Avengers.
Oh. Naming stuff
well, you just throw it. You're like,
I know. I'm gonna just throw it.
You know, she's like the person that wants to pick a place to go and doesn't know where and starts throwing darts at a map. Wishmaster, yeah, I've seen Wishmaster.
Wishmaster was good.
What is your wish? That guy is hilarious. Flashdance, Footloose, Dirty Dancing considered musicals? Yeah, I guess. If Car Wash is considered a musical, those can be considered a musical. Because, again, Car Wash, they didn't actually sing. Nobody sang in that film. It was just music specifically done for that film. Yes, Flashdance TV show. I remember the Flashdance TV show. Yeah.
Wow.
They did have a television show. It was ABC, right?
He used to get physically sick watching it.
Then why'd you watch it? But I think that was on ABC.
Oh, wow.
Children of the Corn.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't a musical, but that was that was creepy though. Let me see. Didn't they make two of it? Because we saw the one that we saw the latest one. I don't think we saw the original. We saw the latest one, the latest one that came out.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the original.
Easel Monkey says that he heard Mojo's going to get a deluxe release.
Who's the Mojo?
Mojo is a character from Marvel. He's an X-Men antigen.
Fame.
Yeah, Fame. I Want to Live Forever.
I used to watch that TV show.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. Who else? Who knows? I guess nobody knows.
No, because they would have
said
something
Carl
right
Weathers.
now.
Yeah, because everybody knows. Dirty Harry but they know that he died in the first Predator film, and they know that he died in Rocky IV. What else? Who else famous killed him? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows, David.
Happy Gilmore. I didn't see. Did I see Happy Gilmore?
I don't know. You've seen everything else.
I don't know. Kung Fu.
Kung Fu
with David Carradine in the 70s. One of Carl Weathers' first acting jobs. And he was a hired man that was sent after David Carradine. Contrary to popular belief, remember he talked with the Jamaican accent, and he claimed to have voodoo power. And then he was like, Cain was like, oh, if you have such power, then just go ahead and kill me. And he's like, because Cain don't believe in any of that. But contrary to popular belief on Kung Fu, Cain did kill people. He killed several people in combat on
He
that
didn't want
hand-to-hand
to.
No, he tried to avoid it, but he did kill people.
Yeah.
And he was a hired man that was sent after him, and Cain took him apart in a cave. Remember?
I kind of remember
when
now.
Cain found his brother.
Yeah, I do remember that because we were both surprised.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that look like Carl Weathers?
Yeah, that was Carl
That
Weather.
was him.
That was Carl Weather. Because
Okay.
a lot of celebrities were in that show. I mean, William Shatner was on that show.
William Shatner was on it?
Yeah, William Shatner was on that show. He played the Irishman with the curly red hair.
Oh yeah.
And
some other people was
Don
on
Johnson
there.
was on that show.
Yeah, as
Don
a kid.
Don
Wasn't
Johnson,
he an Indian?
Yeah, he played a Native Indian on that.
I don't know how he pulled that off.
Which I don't know why, because they used actual Native Indians on the show.
Yeah.
So it's like, why did he couldn't find someone? Don Johnson.
Yeah.
This kid,
that doesn't make sense. Give him something to do.
He was thinking of the alligator. I don't remember Happy Gilmore though. Oh, Easy's talking about Invasion of the Body Snatchers. One of the worst films to watch if you're expecting a nice ending. Which version?
Because it's been done like three times.
There's the 50s version, the 70s version, and the modern one. The modern one sucks. The 50s version is okay, but you got to keep in mind it's a 50s film.
Yeah.
And the 70s one is probably the best.
Yeah. That's the one with Donald Sutherland, right?
Yes.
And then the modern one has the guy from Bond, James Bond, on there.
I know
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The modern one sucks.
Yeah.
But that's why you don't remake films. You just leave the film alone, please. Because you remember they want to remake Taxi Driver. And I'm like, please don't remake that film. Just leave it alone.
The thing, and that was good. The 70s thing was good. 80s thing was
good.
The
80s, but it was a remake of a 50s film. But I mean, nowadays, when they remake a film, they blow it. It just doesn't. It just doesn't fly.
Because they remade that, but it was supposed to be a prequel, which didn't tell you nothing.
Yeah, Robert said he liked Kung Fu. It's a good show, and it's a good moral, ethical show, and I love the flashbacks from that show.
I like the flashbacks better than the rest of the show.
Yeah, when he's with Master Po and
the blind guy and the main guy. I can't remember the other guy's name.
Master Han.
Yeah.
And whenever he's confused about something, they'd ask him questions until it would click.
Yeah, they never answered his question.
Yeah, they let him figure it out. They were like the one kid, I always remember the one where he had been in a fight and he was like, "Oh, what has happened to you, grasshopper?" And he was like, "Oh, I got in a fight with so-and-so. Why were you fighting?" And he says, "Because he calls me oil and water. Because I'm half white and half Chinese." And he says, "Oh, is that not true?" And he was like, "Well, I am half white and half Chinese." And he was like, "And because he insults you, this bothers you? You were physically injured by the insult." He was like, "No, but," and he'd work it out with them, and it's just like, yeah, I get it. It's like sometimes it just ain't worth it, is what he was alluding to. You'd have to fight him because he's making fun of something that is true. He's just being nasty about it.
Yeah.
There's better ways to handle it, especially with a bigger kid who knows Kung Fu better than you. Oh, yeah, 3D. Moondust he just saw Jaws in 3D and reminded him how horrible 3D glasses. It works better now. 3D now works.
But you know what's weird? They're bringing all of those old movies back to the theater because they're so creatively bankrupt. They can't create a new movie with new ideas, a new song, a new TV show, a new cartoon. They have to rehash all of this old stuff. At least with the movies, they're bringing back the actual movie and putting it in the theater so you can have the experience of watching it on a better screen and better sound system. But it's like we got all of these people with no creative ideas. We hire them as our creative director or creative writer or whatever, but they have no idea. So they got to go back and watch old movies. Oh, this is a good movie. Let's rehash it, reimagine it.
And then, or they bring back the actual film, because this is a new thing now too. And they made a big production about it with It, where, not It, The Thing, putting it back in movie theaters, and everybody's like, oh, I want that movie theater experience with The Thing. I've never seen it that way, or I want to see it again. You know, the aspect ratio is not the same when they do that. And the who wrote that? John Carpenter was very upset when that was put out recently on back in the big screen, because the aspect ratio is so drastically different. He was like, you know how hard that me and the cinematographer worked on that to get those big backdrops and to get the lighting and the coloring just right, and you ruined it.
They ruined that's it. What happened?
Yeah, because the aspect ratio, and it used to be a big problem with the square TVs. You remember the old analog televisions, because you've got a wide screen at the theater, and then they'd have to chop the ends off. So you're losing 2/3 or 1/3 of the film on both ends. They still are doing that because the aspect ratio of the modern movie screen is meant to fit the modern flat screen. But the aspect ratio of a retro movie is wider than that. So it still doesn't fit, and they still have to trim the ends. So he said, you're losing a full third of the movie, and you can't see the wide paneling shots that we worked so hard on. He was insulted. And I understand that. If that was your project,
that makes sense.
So there's still, rather than reducing it so that you have the black line on the top and the bottom, widescreen, proper widescreen format, they're chopping the ends off to fill the whole screen at the movie theater. And so when you're going in for that theater experience, you're really not getting it. So just a warning. I know you may not catch that. Now that I've said that, I've ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, because now people are happy. Oh, I'm gonna go and watch Star Wars and all of that, Jaws and everybody.
It won't be the same, because the screens used to be wider in the theater, but now they're the same as the television. So when it goes to DVD, it'll fit.
That's too much. I don't care. I want to sit in the luxury in my own home and watch the movie. Unless it's a brand new movie like the Joker movie or the Batman movie, I'll go see that. But to go there, it's all right, I guess.
Screw Your Feelings says, love the old Quantum Leap. Saw a trailer for the new show. It's a hard pass. Yeah, it doesn't look anything like the original Quantum Leap.
Because the new one looks like an action show, because the trailer was all action packed. And I remember the original one, and it wasn't action. It didn't. I don't remember. It was
a drama.
Action.
It was a straight up drama.
Right. It wasn't all action packed and them running through the streets and shooting at people.
There was action in it, but it wasn't like all that.
Yeah, it wasn't like that trailer.
Yeah. Kay says, on streaming services, there's so much content being pumped out. Even if you like the show or movie, you'll probably forget as the next thing is pushed down your throat.
Yeah.
Advertised for a week and then gone. Yeah, we've talked about that before. Back in our generation when we were growing up, you only had the 3 networks. It was 4 if you count PBS. And then you had some UHF stations, one or 2 if you could pick it up. And so they could cherry pick. So even the worst of the shows were still okay to watch. Now there's more networks and services and stuff than there is shows. So when you're talking new content, they'll take anything they can get, and it's completely hit or miss.
Yeah.
And Reston says, I remember Saturday afternoon movies at the Theory's always got a full-length cartoon Bugs Bunny. Yeah, before the feature. That's going back. And Robert felt insulted on Quantum Leap remake. Still respect the actors, but they act like original never existed. No, and people aren't going to go back to that.
No.
Well, Moz is here.
Who is Moz?
You know Moz.
Oh, hey! I didn't see the name. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, he does action figure. If you go to his channel, he does action figure photography.
He does really good action figure photography.
And he said he went to Bungie's yesterday. That's
What's
like going to
Bungie's?
Bungie's. Is that gas station?
Buc-ee's.
Oh,
Buc-ee's is an experience that must be felt. We went to Buc-ee's.
World's biggest gas station.
Oh my God. I have never been to a gas station like that before.
They must have had 40 employees on deck.
It was more than that.
They back there rolling burritos, and they got people out servicing the servicing coffee stations.
He's talking about Bungie's.
Oh, the comic shop. Okay,
that's the one we went
to. He asked me which shop.
The one we went to.
How did you make out there? I thought you were personal.
Yeah.
How did you make out there?
We ended up not getting anything because the guy was so. And then
he wasn't mean or anything.
No,
but,
I had a stack of books, but then you got some people that you go with places, and then they say, "Oh no, you can't get that because it's not bagged or boarded." So I had to leave the books.
Oh, and the way that some of the short boxes are resting on top are crushing his books.
Yeah. If he had more time to really sort that store out, he probably got some amazing gems in there.
Yeah.
Because if I lived closer, I'll be like, look, can I work here so I can organize this? I like organizing stuff like that.
I'll work for credit.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got some good books. A Decade of Dark Horse. Wow, that's good. Predator story, which had the origin of the gun from
Predator 2. Okay, good.
Also got the first appearance of Mass for $12. Okay.
I saw that. Dark Horse Presents it's an issue of Dark Horse Presents, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your next G.I. Joe piece you're going to get? I don't know. It's whatever I can come across that's at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Is how that works. Or if she gives me something.
Yeah.
Dark Horse Presents number 10. I knew it was Dark Horse Presents.
Mm-hmm.
But Robert wants to know if we've heard from Rollo. No, we have not heard from him in weeks.
No.
So we don't know what's going on with him. And then Munda says that remake of MacGyver. Yeah, with the teenage MacGyver, that was garbage.
And Knight Rider. They remade Knight Rider.
Yeah. That was terrible too.
Mm-hmm.
World's biggest gas station.
Buc-ee's is nice. I mean, you go in there.
Got a big cinnamon bun. They actually clean their coffee station. They have a person whose job is just to make sure it's clean and stocked all day.
And they cook your food in the bag. And they have like a gift shop.
Yeah. And they roast the nuts. You got a group of guys out there roasting nuts right there. Fresh.
Yeah.
But it's huge. It's like a Walmart inside there.
Yeah, it is. It is a Walmart. But it is another one. It's a truck stop. I think it's called the I-80 truck stop. And I think it's in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in Iowa. And it's the largest truck stop in America.
Okay, yeah.
And I think it might be the size of Buc-ee's or a little bit bigger, because in that one they have like a food court and they have like a lot of food, and then they have like the gift shops and all of that different stuff. And we went to Buc-ee's when we went to Tennessee to that comic.
No, it was not.
Convention.
It wasn't expensive.
What was?
Robert? He said the place you're talking about sounds expensive.
No.
Truck stop. No.
Mm-mm. No, it wasn't. I mean, it's a gas station. You go buy gas and then you go inside and you get your coffee, your donuts, and they have they got like a big old salad bar. Then they have the pulled pork, and they have not pulled pork. They got like a barbecue stand where they cook the barbecue, the pork, the chicken, the beef. They had I think, wasn't it tacos or something? They had all kinds of stuff. They had breakfast foods where you got bacon and eggs and biscuits, and I mean, they just had a lot of stuff, and it was nice. I mean, you gotta go.
Yeah, check it out if you're in the area.
If you ever see a Buc-ee's on the interstate, just stop.
Yeah, Easel Monkey. They want it. They're in talks about remaking Taxi Driver. Only they're gonna make it a woman now.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's
because
gonna work out.
Diversity.
He was nasty.
That's a one of a kind film. I don't think it needs to be redone.
No.
Moz says he just got the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Superman, and that he thinks they're beautiful figures.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I've handled any Mafex figures.
Yeah, you did. I have Mafex Batman.
Oh, the animated series Batman. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's the only. Yeah, that's the only Mafex I have is the Batman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Small Wonder, huh? Remake Small Wonder. No, that's a bad idea.
Don't do that.
Don't
then they'll do Blossom.
Don't put that out in the atmosphere because somebody will try it. Yeah, and Johnny says the Iowa 80 truck stop is huge.
Yeah, that's the one.
Like it's
the I-80 truck stop.
And there you go. But yeah, do check out the Buc-ee's. But yeah, I forgot about that comic shop. That Bungie's.
Yeah, and like I said, some of the stuff, his price was high. We went in there and I saw a book that I really wanted. Is that the place he wanted like $60 for the book?
There was a book, it was 60, and in the same condition, I found one on eBay that was like, buy it now, it's $17.
Yeah.
And that was about the average. And I'm like, what is he doing?
So, and it was a couple of other books because David checked the price on everything. So it was a couple of other books that he wanted like way so much for. And like you could buy it on eBay cheaper. And so we just ended up not getting anything.
Yeah. And Black Knight is here.
Hey, Black Knight,
and
how are you?
He wanted to know about, we did talk about that briefly, but basically what I think happened because people are backing out of that Ghost Rider project is that they didn't, my best guess without having looked at it just recently is that the early bird bonus didn't hit the tier. And so people were waiting to see if they could get that early bird figure. And when it didn't hit enough backers in time for the early bird, and now it's not available, they backed out. So they're like, oh, we can't hit that. Because remember with the HasLab, his tank, it hit the early bird early. It hit the early bird on time. So they got that bonus figure right off.
Yeah.
And it just kept going from there. But when it didn't hit the early bird on this one, everybody was like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother now. And started backing off.
Ma said now he got 4 Mafex figures: Superman, Batman, Carrie Kelly, I don't know who that is, and Batman Hush.
Okay.
And G.I. Joe exclusive in the UK are G.I. Joe.
Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, the UK G.I. Joes only in the UK. That's part of the problem they've been having all the way around with exclusives in the first place. That's making people not want to bother with them.
Yeah.
Because it's frustrating. It makes you want them even less.
David, when you go to the thrift shops, do you find they are getting worse with using eBay? Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Just a little earlier, yeah, because they got their experts, their so-called experts. They look around on eBay and they just make up prices as they go. And it's like, you got to be kidding me, with some of the stuff that they come up with.
Yeah.
Or like that Eddie Ruxpin that they had that one time that was $289 at the Goodwill. And it's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Probably untested, played with condition. I mean, because they don't test anything anymore.
No, because I got on this one lady. I got something.
Value Village, right?
Value Village. Yeah. I don't know if it was a lamp. It was something. And they got plugs everywhere. So I took it to a plug. I plugged it in. It didn't work. And I put it on the shelf. And she's like, you're going to leave that there? I was like, yeah, it's broke. It doesn't work. She was like, how do you know? And I'm like, because I plugged it in and turned it on. She was like, well, maybe it's that plug. I was like, no, y'all always put stuff out that don't work.
Yeah, because we try everything.
She took it to 4 different plugs. She was like, well, let me see. And then she took it to another plug. It didn't work. I was like, see, it don't work. Take it over there. Try that one.
Yeah, it was a spotlight.
It was something.
Yeah.
So she took it to like 4 different. She's like, oh, you're right. It doesn't work. I'm like, half of the things y'all got don't work. Go over there and plug everything in. Half of it don't work. Yeah. And then people will buy it because they won't check it and y'all won't take it back.
Yeah, you ain't taking it back.
And she was like, oh, okay, well, thank you. And I'm like, yeah.
Master says he's really tempted to get into Mafex. Moz is the guy to ask.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that's working with him doing the photography. But yeah, like I said,
he said to Hot Toys too. Robert's big into Hot Toys. Well, Robert do the mashups. the kit bashing, whatever you call it.
Yeah. But yeah, when I worked at AmVets back in the 90s, which is, I think they're actually associated with Value Village AmVets, because there's multiple chains, but they had a guy that his job was to test everything. He had a little workstation, and he had drawers full of batteries and plugs and all kinds of stuff, and he'd have a box full of different sized light bulbs, and everything that came in, he would test it before he sent it on to the pricer. They don't do that stuff anymore. They got rid of that job. Black Knight says, think they just going to make Mephisto on single card if they don't hit that mark, if people are backing out now. Possible. There's always the possibility that if a figure doesn't make it, that they'll go ahead and it's not going to be on a card. They'll put it in that like mystery box. Is the figure in there? Is it not? Are you going to open it up and find like an 80s starting lineup figure? Something that shouldn't be in there.
A broken figure.
Yeah, I know. People swapping stuff out.
I don't know. How many people want that starting lineup for $50?
Oh, I know. Yeah, $50 a pop. I think they would have done better if they started with a classics line. Jordan, Johnson, Bird, Chamberlain.
People like that.
People from when basketball was good. Before they made all these rules and turned it into like touch football. Okay, you got to go.
Okay.
It says bye, guy. Thanks.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Black Knight says only if they golden age, and by golden age, I guess you mean 70s and 80s. I'm assuming up until from probably like the mid 70s to the second of the NBA Olympic teams. Because you remember, once upon a time, you had to be a free agent. You couldn't be a professional player of any kind. If you were going to be in the Olympics, it was prohibited.
Then the NBA got in there.
Yeah, and then that first year that they opened it up for everybody, and they had that first dream team. I think 91 dream team. Yeah. Black Knight says that by the time of the second dream team, the rules got so weird, because isn't that when they started making all the extra rules and all the extra fouls and different things like that, and it made the game kind of easier.
The time clock and
I don't know, whatever.
All that mess.
But I think the highlight of the whole era was with the original Dream Team. What a time! What a time to be a rookie on that team. One rookie on that team, and he's like, oh my god. Best basketball team ever assembled, and they wiped out the whole planet.
It was unfair.
Yeah, they were beating teams by like 80 points. Johnny wants to know, if you could own any movie poster from any film, what poster would you want? And his would be the 31 Frankenstein. I don't know. You have a movie poster you wish you had from when it first came out?
You know what mine is.
What is it? 89 Batman?
No. I want that Jesus and Nazareth poster.
That was a TV show.
It was a movie, and they got a poster for it because I've been watching it.
Really?
Yep. I want that one. And I want the one from Planet of the Apes, from the TV show, at the end of the opening credit.
Oh, that iconic image.
Yeah, where the apes are on the horses.
1974 live action Planet of the Apes primetime show. And they're on the hunt, and the guy throws the rifle up, and the sun is in the background.
And it's 3 apes, and they're all on horses.
They're on a hunting party.
Yeah. And the middle guy holds the rifle up over his head, and they're all like silhouettes, and you could just see the silhouette and the sun in the back. It's a real nice shot. And if you see the show,
good, actually,
you see the show, and the way that the camera moves into the shot is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One that I actually Murder by Death.
That was a good movie. I don't know what the poster looked like.
Because that's the first film I ever saw in theaters.
And I want the Fiddler on the Roof poster.
And the second one I ever saw in theaters was the original 77 Star Wars. If I could find an original poster for it, which I seriously doubt that's possible.
I know I want all lame
Robert
posters.
says no way on the starting lineup.
Oh, yeah. Some people gonna like it. Then you're gonna have scalpers.
They'll sell.
You think so? Are people even into sports? And the people that watch sports, are they even into that to where they would spend $50 on that?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
James says the Bulls documentary, The Last Dance, was amazing.
Yeah, that was a good documentary. I saw that one, and I saw what's his name? Come Fly With Me. Michael Jordan to Come Fly With Me was pretty good.
Master Magnetism says watched Rocky 5 the other night. Still can't get over why Rocky never blocks punches. 5 or 4? Because 5 is when he's training Tommy Gunn, right? And 4 is the one with when he fights Drago. Hank says 89 Batman poster, a Jurassic Park poster autographed by the cast.
Autograph.
Oh my.
Ugh. Another poster I love to see is the Road Warrior poster.
Johnny wants you specifically to name a film poster though.
I got a bunch of movie posters. I'm not into movies to the point where I want a poster. And the posters that I have from movies I like. But I don't think it's one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I ain't into movies like all that. So I want a movie.
Rocky 4, yeah, Master, I can answer that question because I think he actually says it in the film.
What?
That was his strategy to intimidate Drago, to wear him out. Because Drago thought he was indestructible. Why he hardly blocking? He's like, come on, hit me. And Drago, because remember when Drago sits down and they're like, why, he's starting to get freaked out. And they're like, what are you doing? He was like, the man's like a piece of iron. I can't hurt him. That was his strategy. Just go ahead and let myself get doped a couple of times, punched in the face. Go ahead, hit me. See, you can't stop me. It was intimidation.
Oh, okay.
That's why he did that in the film.
What?
Elite wants Taxi Driver poster. And Screw Your Feelings says, Mystery, you can go to Blockbuster or your favorite local video store and get movie posters when they were done with them. They used to give away the displays too, the standees and stuff like that. I got a bunch of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff from one of them. I think it was Hollywood Video, the big inflatable pumpkin and a display for DVDs to fit into with Jack Skellington and all sorts of stuff that they give it away. If you get dibs on it, and they would put your phone number there and they call you when they were done.
That comic book shop we were at this week had a bunch of movie posters. They had a ton of them.
Media Mania
in Stockbridge.
Moz, if you're still here, check. Yeah. Oh, he is. Check that one out too. Media Mania.
They're in Stockbridge.
Lots of comics they're in filing cabinets, but you got to pull them out and look. Tons and tons of comics, vinyl records, lots of video game paraphernalia.
And I think they got DVDs and CDs too, but they got a ton of movie posters, like the big ones, because I was standing next to one, and but I didn't look through it because I was like I didn't care, but yeah.
Robert doesn't want me to shave the beard.
Why?
I don't know. He said never shave the beard. It's iconic. I think I look like Sean Connery.
He had it all big, like way out here, and it was all long. And then it was long. It was all full.
It's really thick. So if I let it grow and I brush it up, it'll stay like this. So I can puff it out like Santa.
He had it like that for a while. And then he cut it all off, and then now he keeps it this length. But it was all long and way out here like an afro.
Moz wants a legitimate Predator 2 poster. Predator 2 was all right with Danny Glover. Predator 2, 1 and 2 were okay. 1 was better, but 1 and 2 were good films. And then I don't know what happened.
I have a Cobra Kai movie poster.
Okay.
Cobra Kai is not a movie. See?
Oh, Moz wants to know, you have to tell me where you find these things. Google is horrible at telling me. And that was, let me just, where we find these shops, I guess.
Oh, I type it in on Google and I put in you got to put in the name of the city. So I type in, comic book stores in McDonough, in Stockbridge, in Griffin, in Conyers.
Yeah.
I put in the
actual to be more
city
specific.
name. Yeah, because if you put near me, they're going to take you all the way to Alabama. So you got to put in the city name. And that's what I do.
Moz, they didn't show you on the first one because they were trying to make it a reveal. What? You had to go to the movie to see Predator. Predator is not actually depicted on the posters for the first film because it was a reveal back when there was no social media, so you weren't going to find out what it looked like. It was word of mouth. And then, of course, when the second film came out, you already knew. So yeah, we can put Predator on the poster now. But that's the name of it. Check out Media Mania. They're pretty good.
And when you look up stuff, put in the city, like I said, Stockbridge, Georgia, because you just put in Stockbridge, then it's going to come up Stockbridge, Tennessee, Stockbridge, California. Just put in Stockbridge, Georgia, Griffin, Georgia, where the city and the state. Put that in, and you usually get better results.
Johnny has a Cobra Kai movie poster.
Yeah, but Cobra Kai is not a movie.
Oh.
He said movie. Now he going back to TV show.
Oh.
See how you do?
Oh, see, pull that okey-doke. Robert has a Freddy on Elm Street standee. And let me see here. Easel Monkey wants to know if we do a live stream every Sunday. Not every Sunday, especially not if we're doing a show. Like I think it's next week. Like the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
we're probably not going to do it because on October 1st we have the show, the retro toy swap in Powder Springs, and then the week after that we have the
Atlanta Comic Convention.
Yeah, Atlanta Comic Convention.
Maz, there is the Atlanta Comic Convention coming up. And that's in Decatur on Century Boulevard.
On the 9th.
On the 9th. That's Sunday. Yeah. And they have like a ton of comics.
So. It's a good show, and I find a lot of good deals there.
Yeah.
I really do. And William says Predator 2 poster inside a Star Trek comic book back in the day. You know who was really good for posters once upon a time? Was World Book Magazine. Believe it or not, they had posters. I got an Empire Strikes Back poster in there. Yeah, maybe we'll see you there.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah,
because and of course, that's why we throw that out there too. Is like, guys, if you run into us at the show, don't be shy. I won't beat you up too bad. I won't throw you in the dumpster.
Yeah, give us a wave and we can stand there and talk and stuff. Give us a wave.
But anyway, we're past the 3-hour mark.
Yeah,
and so we're probably going to go ahead and wrap this up because I'm sure that all the stray cats are lining up at the back door looking for a meal. I can't blame them. Who else is going to take care of them?
Free meal.
Yeah,
free loaders.
Free loaders. I'd rather feed them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they don't ask for nothing. They fine. The
one great
thing. They do what they do.
One great thing about animals, they like you or they don't, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no pretending because they want to get something from you.
Yeah.
They don't fake it.
No.
Plus,
they keep the rodents away. So if you got rodents.
Oh yeah.
Neighborhood. They come around your house, you would never. We don't have no more snakes in the yard because they cut the grass. I used to always run into a snake every summer, about 2, 3. I haven't run into one this year.
Yeah.
They keep all of the rodents, the snakes away. The squirrels don't even come in the yard no more because the cats stay on the porch and
they have a time.
The squirrels.
They have a time that they sneak in and look around, but they don't come close to the house.
Yeah. So.
Oh, Robert wants to know if we see cosplay. Depends on the show. Sometimes you do.
Sometimes I'll take pictures of them, but most times I don't.
Most of them aren't that good.
No,
there's a few.
Half of them you don't even know what they are.
Yeah, they just show up to be in cosplay. A lot of the vendors complain about them.
Yeah, the vendors don't like.
They don't buy anything.
No,
they just wander around trying to look cute, waiting for someone to take a picture.
Yeah, and then they stand in front of vendor spots, so then it's hard for you to get in and out of those to where the vendors are.
I've heard a lot of vendors complain about.
Yeah, they just stand in the middle of the walkway, the pathway. And
they paid to get in, so the show doesn't care.
Yeah.
But for the vendors, sometimes it's a problem.
Yeah. So. But anyway,
yeah, Easel Monkey, that's correct.
What did he say?
They were killing cats during the plague because the Vatican had the assumption that because cats are familiars to witches, that's why the plague was happening.
Yeah.
But it was actually fleas
from the rats.
From the rats, and of course, if the cats ran them off, you were not going to get fleas,
and you wouldn't have had the black plague.
Yeah.
So,
but anyways, thank you everybody for joining us. We'll do this again sometime. Again, we're probably not going to do it in the next couple of weeks because we got the 2 shows coming up.
Yeah.
And so we don't, it's too much. So thanks for joining us this evening. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys again soon.